All right, we're on the air live. This is Rusty from Stunthangar, our Friday night hangout, and I have not started the chat box yet. So you guys that want to do that, hold on for a minute, and I'll get it going. And I just wanted to try something different because since it's been a little glitchy lately, some people seem to be able to get on, and some people cannot. So decided to wait until after we started broadcasting live, which we are now. So if you'll bear with me a minute while I pop the chat out and put it where I can see you when you come in, then we'll be able to get our show going. And it looks like we got some kind of new feature with the video chats that I haven't had time to investigate yet, but I found Sparky. I found Sparky looking at it just a minute ago and called him up to make sure I wasn't going to step on him. And okay, now I got the chat box up. So when you go to the YouTube page, and I see we've got one viewer now, the chat box should be active. If you want to give it a try and say something to me, that would be great. And meanwhile, I'll wait until some visitors come in. And it's been a pretty good week. The weather's been kind of chilly and windy as usual. That never seems to stop around here lately. Adjust my camera a little bit here. However, I've got the best news I've had since before October, when I told everybody I was as ready as I've ever been for the contest in Huntersville. And I went to my bone cutter yesterday, and he said that hips healed up enough to where I can walk as much as I can, as long as it doesn't hurt too much without the cane. That's good. And if I want to fly, well, go fly. So, hot damn, Rusty's back in action, or I will be soon, I hope. I think I need to turn some circles in the house and make sure I got my balance back. And I showed him the balancing exercises I do and made sure that wasn't something that was banned from my list of things to be careful with. And he said, no, that's fine. I think you're ready for that now, but probably wouldn't have been a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know if y'all do balancing exercises or not. When I fly control line, balance is one of the things that is the most important when you got to do the wind dance and run, catch the plane. You need to be able to recover as fast as you can. And so I try to make a habit of at least once a day when I'm doing something mundane, like, I don't know, brushing my teeth or something, I stand on one leg as long as I can, then switch legs and stand on the other leg as long as I can. Oddly enough, before I broke the hip, the left leg was the one that I could stand on the longest. Go figure. And I've also bought some flat bottom New Balance shoes instead of the cross trainer type with the rolled edges. And about the time I bought them for flying, I went down. The flight surgeon grounded me, and I couldn't figure out how to fly for all winter long. So we get to try those out too. And we got Huntersville coming up in a couple of weeks. Well, more than a couple, but coming up first weekend in May. And I look forward to seeing all of y'all there. And now we've got 2 video viewers and 1 YouTube viewer. And looks like we got Jim and we've got Eddie. Hey guys, how's it going tonight? Whoops, wait a minute. I got no sound on my end. Okay, now we got sound.
Hello.
Hello.
Good.
Hello. Hey, how's everybody tonight?
Good.
Good. Well, I saw Sparky messing around when I logged in, and don't know if he's going to come visit us or not, but he was playing with some kind of new feature we've got with the video chats. So we'll see what's going on with that. Anybody have any good aero modeling activity this week? Anybody go flying or building?
No, I ain't been able to fly in a while.
Yeah, flying and building.
All right, tell us about it. I hear a little one in the background.
Oh, that's mine.
That's all right.
Hold on. I'm going to have to, I'll be right back.
Okay. I got to get something better than tape to hold my camera to my monitor. Here we go. My face is in the middle. So, yeah, what you been up to, Jim?
Yeah, I flew and building. So
you're working on the primary force now?
trying to learn the beginner pattern.
How's that working for you?
No, actually,
What'd you say?
oh, good. It's a Brodak ARF. It's a Brodak ARF smoothie
Oh, a smoothie. Okay.
that I picked up at I picked that up at a swap meet.
Thought
Still
somebody
new in the
was on
box.
Pathfinder the other night, or going to start one. I forgot who it was now.
And I did get my primary force kit in. As soon as I get the smoothie off the bench, then I'll start the primary force.
Yeah. Well, that smoothie is a good flying plane. My buddy Wayne's got one, and that was one of the first planes he made electric when he started going over to the east side of things, and it's been a good one. He put a film canister in the front end of it where the engine cylinder would normally stick out, and screwed a glow plug into the top of it like it had an internal combustion engine. It looked all right, but he finally, I think he took it out because people were teasing him about it or something. I've never known him to be susceptible to teasing, so I could be mistaken about that. He teases me. I don't, but he's a hard one to hit back with a good line. Now we got a couple of YouTube viewers now. If one of you guys would send us a sign and let us know if the YouTube side is working with the chat box, that'd be great. Oh, that's Sparky that just came in. How you doing, Sparky?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Oh, Ron Hass joined over on YouTube. Hi, Ron. Good evening. Ron's
Sparky.
always. We can't seem to get too many others over on the chat box, though. I don't know if it's not working. We'll find out, or if only Ron can work it.
Well, they have a new feature. Did you see that in when you started this?
Just briefly, I didn't have time to investigate it. What is it?
I'm not sure I can make it work. It's camera, and it has the chat box, the YouTube side chat box, in this window.
Oh, that's excellent. Let me open our regular chat box and see if it looks any different. And okay, yeah, it just looks the same as it always did, but I don't see Ron Hass over there, but I do see him in the YouTube chat box, so we'll see what goes on. I did notice that now when you watch the reruns, that whatever went on in the YouTube chat box is accompanying the video. You know, when you go to your playlist and pick out one of these shows, then it shows what went on in the chat box beside it. So that's pretty cool.
Alvin dropped out. Oh, he's back. There you go.
He does that. Oh, he came back with a better picture too.
I don't know what's going on. It keeps beating me off.
I know you were having that trouble the other night too.
I was. It booted me off 4 or 5 times. Finally, I gave up.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, if it's easy enough, just keep clicking in until you get tired of it, I guess. But that's something on your end, though. Tom Luciano just joined us. T-Bone 1260 from New Jersey, and yeah,
Oh,
T-Bone, we've seen Tom in here in the chat box before.
it's my,
I waited until I started
it's
the
my,
broadcast before I opened the chat box. Maybe that'll make a difference. And also, we've got another video guest. Oh, that's Ron. Hey, Ron. Have you got audio tonight? Can you hear us? I think that was Ron that couldn't hear us the other night.
We can see him.
Yeah. Give us a sign, Ron. Can you hear us?
Nope.
Apparently not. I don't know. Something's going on with the sound system because the other night we could hear him when he talked, and he could hear his own computer sounds, and he could hear us on YouTube, but he couldn't hear us on here. And we had him do all of the things, opening the controls and reselecting his speaker system and all.
Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. Ryan's, that's okay. You can chat with us over here now. Now, you can hang out with us if you can't hear us, I guess, but it's hard to type all that.
You're gonna have to get a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah, at least, if not younger. Okay. Well, we'll do the best we can, but I can't very well convey what we're saying and type at the same time. I'm one of those that has to look at the keyboard as my fingers strike the keys when I type.
He went back to YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
I got a quick building question.
Okay.
I can't remember if you're using nitrate and butyrate. Can you go butyrate over nitrate, or is it the other way around?
The other way? No, it's that way, I think, right, Sparky?
Yep, butyrate over nitrate. I don't know why you'd use nitrate, but
Well, I don't know. I remember I got a super chipmunk from Mike Lonke, and he's got it prepped already, but I can't remember what he's got it cover, or base coat. So I'm gonna have to ask him what he's got on it. So I don't want to go and put something over it to wrinkle it all up and mess it up.
I think you can put nitrate under anything, but you can't go putting you can't put nitrate on top of butyrate.
You can use nitrate as a base coat and then cover it with butyrate.
yeah,
Or just go straight butyrate.
yeah. And next time, use all butyrate.
Yeah.
What would be an advantage for nitrate other than it doesn't cause any shrinkage? If you wanted to keep from warping, wouldn't that help you?
Nitrate is a glue. Has more glue properties in it. It's I don't know. It's got a hotter thinner in it, I guess.
Okay.
But I use all butyrate.
Yeah, me too. I'm still new at it though, and I just do what you guys do. So
Well,
that's
like
what
I said, I haven't used the cloth covering or the silk span since mid '80s when I built that my shoestring, and everything since then's been the monocoat. So I want to get back to the old school stuff, but I can't. Before I start buying up a bunch of stuff, I want to get my ducks in a row.
Yeah, well, I'd just be like Sparky says and stick straight with the butyrate. And
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to get with Mike and see what he's got on this thing as a base coat.
my cheap option too, and I know Sparky wouldn't do it in mixed products, but my cheap option that works for me is to use the Duplicolor automotive acrylic lacquer, not acrylic enamel, but acrylic lacquer for the colors, and it plays fine with Brodak dope and luster coat or whatever your preferred clear is.
Yeah.
You got engines in your hand there. Let me click on Sparky. Let's see what you got there. Yeah. All right, Sparky, you're on.
I got 3 of them. 3 C-35s. These are my last 3 airplanes to do. I'm going to do them tomorrow. And
Those going on your voodoos?
yeah. And I got a pile of do here. There's one do.
Excuse me, that took me a minute.
And two do's.
You're gonna sit down there. You end up sitting on those things.
3 do's. 4
And
do's.
4 D's. This is the last one I did.
That's the last one you're gonna do.
This is the one that has Jim's engine on it. This is the best one.
All right.
Cool.
And this will be the one that I fly first.
You're making me really want one of those. So I'm going to look into that maybe. I got a couple of kits on the list that I've got to do, but one of these days I'm going to build me a Voodoo now. It was a Super Satan, but I didn't realize until Sparky started building those how much easier it is to build a Voodoo than it is to build a Super Satan.
Yeah, I can build them in a couple hours.
Yeah, I can't build them that fast, but still, there's no reason not to make a plane simple. There's no reason it should be complicated. Not a flying wing with nothing but a stabilator hanging behind it.
Well, the thing is what
I remember when the Voodoo was a hot setup with a G2135.
Well, I was on eBay the other night, and a Fox Mark V or whatever sold for $280 some, and a G2135 last night, new in the box, sold for $185.
Oh, wow.
But it was new in the box. But I ended up getting this one C-35 from somebody in Texas, a gal, I guess she said it was her father's. It was an estate engine, and it came in half a box, but it's like brand new. It's never been mounted. So, and it's got great compression. I don't have a glow plug in it, but you can't turn it over when you put your finger on it.
Does it have a pinch at the top, even without the glow plug?
Yeah, a little, and you can hear it make a compression with no glow plug. But go ahead.
Who makes those?
Super Tiger.
Super Tiger, okay.
And these are old motors. You got to be at least 40 years old.
Yeah, I can hear it at the top. That was it squeaking, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's a good one. I think I'm done making Voodoos. I'm going to go tomorrow and get me some 1-inch foam insulation, blue board, and make a 6-pack. There's Jim.
Yeah, good idea.
Jim's stuck on, he got 2 screens open.
There's 2 of you, Jim.
Twins.
Would the real Jim Ballard please stand up? Yeah, one of you is more animated than the other, though.
I can't get knocked off. I don't know how that happened.
There you go. You're down to 1 now.
I am.
And
it's my ISP.
You're on shaky ground tonight, Jim.
I'm out in the sticks. I'm out in the sticks. So
yeah. You using a satellite dish?
The video and audio keeps blocking up on me.
Yeah.
Are you on satellite internet?
No, I'm on DSL.
Oh, that's why. DSL slow.
Everything everybody uploads to YouTube these days, it's all high definition now, and DSL just ain't up to the challenge. Yeah, it's nice living out in the sticks for some reasons, and this is one of the reasons it's not so great. Ah, Charles Williams from Valparaiso, Indiana is in here with us. Hi, Charles. I didn't miss you. You just came in. I got timestamps on the chat box now. For the longest time, I didn't think we had it, and I was just overlooking that setting, so I can tell when people post on it. Glad to have you, Charles. That's who we couldn't get in here the other night, too, for some reason or another. Couldn't get audio and video coordinated.
If you like what we're doing, hit the super chat. You can go to the t-shirt store and support Stunthangar with, I don't know, I've probably got 25 designs in there now.
Yeah, I've been getting lots of advertisements from Teespring, which is fine. I don't mind. I like the shirts I've bought from them. But my email's been getting a lot of Teespring advertisements and specials.
That's because you signed up for it when you bought the Teespring shirt.
Apparently I did. I usually don't do that, but that's okay. I'll unsubscribe if it gets on my nerves.
I wasn't able to get on last week. I had to go to bed early. I had a fishing tournament last Saturday. But
oh man, what kind of fishing? Bass?
It's bass tournament. We me and my brother fished, and we ended up coming in second. So that was a good day fishing.
Work. Now, did y'all come in second in weight or number of fish or what? How was it scored?
It's five of your best fish, heaviest weight.
Okay. And so what, were you fishing in a lake or a river, reservoir? What?
Yeah, it's a lake. It's one of the local lakes here. It's Percy Priest Lake. It's right off the Interstate 40.
Yeah.
But my brother, we got second place and had big fish with a 4.5 pound smallmouth. So
nice. Well, I've got, Lake Murray's here in the Columbia, Lexington area in South Carolina. Yeah. And I think it's a world famous destination for bass tournaments.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Big boys fish there a lot.
Yeah. And it's got good stripers too. Plus the Saluda River is got stripers in it that come all the way from the ocean, plus resident stripers, and Lake Murray is full of stripers too. I've never caught a striper in the lake, but I've done plenty of fishing out at the rapids below the dam with striper swipers and shad. Going out and casting for shads was the best way to do it, and we used to catch some pretty big ones down there. And I think the minimum size is like 22 inches or something like that.
Yeah, TWRA here in Tennessee is they got to be 18 inches or bigger, and you can only keep 2 per day.
Really?
Yeah. I
don't know what the number limit on stripers is, and it changed. I hadn't gotten this year's book either, so it could change. That doesn't usually change too much.
But what I was going to get at is I saw a little bit of the footage of the last 2 videos, and I think his name was Thomas, was sanding on an airplane. Do you remember what he was? It looked like a light.
Could have been the twin. Was it a twin boom airplane?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Gobelschwanz. Carousel.
Okay.
What
it looked like a. You what?
Did he get it painted finally with $3 or $2 paint?
He was painting it last time I saw him, and that was that would have been Monday night. He was spraying paint on it.
Yeah, I did my paint job for 36 cents.
That's funny. He said he saw you at a contest or somewhere one time, and you pulled him aside and said, "Hey, is that $35 or what $7 paint job?" And Derek Barry or somebody was standing there with you when you called him over.
Yeah.
And Derek lives in my neighborhood within 60 miles anyway. So I ought to be seeing him up at the contest in Huntersville and Triple Tree in first couple of weekends in May.
I'm looking forward to Joe and all.
Yeah, me too. I love going up there. And it's open for flying on Wednesdays and a certain Saturday every month. I forget which one or something like that. You can look it up on the tripletree.com website.
I'm gonna bring some combat planes.
Yeah, I want to see those Voodoos do their thing.
Yeah, dudes.
Now you started do jokes now, so be prepared. Well, Jim just dropped out again. I guess the DSL crushed him.
I can't believe Mike Lunky hasn't come in.
He hasn't been here lately, but it's Eddie here is one of Mike's friends. I think that's how you found out about our hangouts, isn't it, Eddie?
No, actually, I found out Stunthangar. The guys, Mike and several of them, went up to Paducah to a fly-in up there several years ago, and Sparky was up there. He actually had that Thunderbolt up there that was just beautiful. I loved that plane, man. That was the detail that you put in that plane was unbelievable. But
Plane of the year in 07, Windfalls 2007.
I forget, is it a P-38 or a P-48? Thunderbolt, isn't it one of those?
P-47.
P-47, okay.
But yeah, we went up there, and those guys did some of the patterns up there, and I just went up there for moral support. But after what, I think maybe when I got home or the next year with Stunthangar, I looked it up and started following you. I don't know when I actually come on the website and joined, but I thought, man, when I met Mike and them, it was 25 years since I'd flown. And I thought it was just a dead sport because around here, nobody did it anymore. Everybody went to RC. And I saw their advertisement in the little browser paper we got, said they had a fly-in. Went out there and talked to them, and they said come out and fly with them. So I did. And I dusted them off, went out there and crashed and rebuilt. And
So you still had some flying machines hanging around, huh?
oh, yeah. Yeah, we still had them down in my dad's basement. Matter of fact, the Cosmic Wind that Dad built's hanging right up here above me. He built it in 62.
They never die, not unless they hit the ground too hard. And usually they can live again after that.
Yeah, well, I've like my shoestring. I've rebuilt it 4 times now. So I just
Ron Hess says he was at Florida Jets today, exclaiming about what beautiful airplanes, but who the hell can afford them? Yeah, I know a guy here that flies jets too, and it's thousands and thousands of dollars. It's too much money for just plain fun like we have.
I like hundreds of dollars and keeping them within 60 feet of me.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. You can't fly 2 mistakes either.
Right. The only thing is with the control lines is you don't have time to change your mind.
Yeah. No kidding.
You got to make up your mind before you do it.
Yeah, reminds me of the time I got left and right confused in the middle of the downside of a reverse wing over.
Yeah.
Up to his armpits.
Yeah.
And here's Tom.
You gotta come through.
Hi guys.
He's got his building robe on tonight. This thing's serious.
Nothing going on tonight.
I'll be right back.
All right. How you doing, Charles? Hi, Bergie.
Hey, what's up?
Nada. Just taking it easy. I'm waiting for some stuff to come in.
How'd that 36-cent paint job turn out?
Hey, it turned out okay so far. Now I got to finish it up with decal. You didn't see it yet?
No.
You were painting it when we signed off the other night, and I think you guys stayed online and chatted and painted for a while.
All right. Well, let me go get it here.
And Steve Hines drops in. Hey, Steve.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, look what Tom's got. I'm going to click on him and show the YouTubers.
That a 60 cal you got sticking out the front of that?
What's that?
I said, is that a 60 cal machine gun you got sticking out the front of that?
Well, Steve says it was my peace pipe.
Yeah, peace pipe. That wasn't peace.
That's a good name for it.
Yeah. It's for my, well, there it is, Sparky.
And that's that tarmac black or something like that.
Pavement black.
Pavement black. Okay.
It's more like a charcoal, but
Oh, yeah.
when the I like the color of it when the clear coat gets put back on it.
You going to put a matte clear coat on, or are you going to put the
No, it's going to be gloss.
crystal clear?
Yeah. But
How you doing with your
anyway,
decals?
there it is. Now, as soon as I get my decal stuff come in, I can start putting a little bit of jazz on it. Now, the bottom side is China blue.
Yeah, it looks white on the video.
It looks white on the video, right?
Once in a while, I can get a flash of the blue.
Man, I mean, you get right up close to the lines.
Came out nice.
Yeah.
Well, the guy that gave that to you would be honored.
I don't know about that, man. I mean,
Should be.
it is. I mean, you know, it's not like it's not, you know, I don't compare it anywhere close to Sparky's, that's for sure. Sparky's got a hell of a finish, but
Well, it's not about comparison. It's about effort.
yeah. I got some touch up to do, but you know, hey,
Couldn't tell.
it gives me a little break on it anyway to think about exactly how I'm going to finish it up. I mean, I didn't know what I was going to do until I started masking. But
That got a center flap on it?
Yep, a tuner flap.
Center, he said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The middle, just
Yeah,
the middle,
between the booms.
in between the booms.
Terry sent me a video the other day of a bunch of guys. There must have been 40 or 50 of them painting a full size plane, or not. I don't know. It could have been a big Gulf Stream or something. Maybe it was bigger than that. But man, what an operation! How much tape they used. It was amazing. With you know, a guy standing back with a cross-haired laser helping them apply the masking and painting and peeling and masking, and it was an amazing operation to watch, and just a beautiful job when they got through, but not a damn bit different from what we do in our shops to various degrees.
Yep, I agree. I mean, something like what is it? The C5 takes like, or maybe it was a 747. I can't remember. 465 gallons of paint. That's on.
They were so meticulous mixing that paint using, and they had one supervisor or one of the technicians apparently going in with a dipstick and pulling it in and drawing it out and watching it stream off, and then testing each bucket individually and comparing them.
Sparky ought to be able to tell you that.
Oh yeah, he's a painter of planes, painter of gray.
That's a viscosity meter.
You know what? I didn't have nothing to do today, so I took the day off, and I went and got on Amazon and started watching a movie, and I watched the last squadron of the F-14 before they were retired. all the there was two pilots that were that they filmed, and one of them was the first woman F-14 Tomcat fighter pilot. That was a pretty interesting documentary.
Well, I know that wasn't it United that used to have the silver airplanes, or was that American?
I don't know.
I think that was American.
American had silver.
Yeah.
American was silver. They said the reason why they did that was because they could carry so many more passengers by getting rid of the weight of the paint.
Yeah, yeah. Certain paints are heavier than others. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah. That brings some memories back.
White is the heaviest of all paints.
Strange. Whenever I saw a silver airliner, I always thought it was just the bare metal I was looking at, but it's not.
It is.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, they just clear coated it.
Oh.
You know.
Well, I think it gets anodized. Yeah, it's
yeah, it'll get all anodized.
Aluminum gets treated, but
if they use 400 gallons of paint on an airliner, it would be 2,800 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why they can knock off, that kind of weight. So if you figure a seat and a person, you can carry a lot more people.
All I know is
lower the ticket prices.
I dabbled
2,500 fat people.
Yeah.
Wow.
2,500 300-pounders.
That's a hell of a difference, and you think about it,
I know when I did some repair work to the sheet metal, I messed with a lot of primer, and that primer for them aircraft, I mean, a little drop goes a long way. I mean, a long way. You could take a drop and paint a big section with a drop of that primer paint.
Yeah.
So what you been doing this week, Steve?
Gas pipe in my house. Well, actually, I was getting everything ready today at 8 o'clock this morning. I shut the heat off and everything else, and tore out all the gas pipe, or it is gas pipe because it's for propane. Then had to put in new gas pipe that's bigger for natural gas.
Oh, yeah, we was talking about that last week, wasn't we?
Yeah.
So how long did you have to shut down your utilities to do that?
Now it's been over 12 hours.
Well, guys, I'm going to hit it.
All right.
Mark, thanks for helping us kick off.
See ya.
See ya. See ya.
Yeah. The heat's been off since I think around 10 o'clock this morning. But I heated the house up to like 75 degrees. And then shut it off. So I'm all ready to go. I gotta set the pressures on the gas valve now.
What's the weather there like?
Huh?
What's the weather there like now?
It was 20 degrees this morning.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it got up to 41 today.
A heat wave.
Not bad for Michigan, I guess.
Yeah.
Man, I cut down three trees and got everything all cleaned up. The only thing that's left is logs. I got logs now I got to cut up.
That's good. Yeah, I wanted to get the new hot water heater in tonight, but I just ran out of steam.
What kind of water heater did you get?
It's a Bradford White.
Is it a tankless?
No. I was going to go with tankless, but to go with tankless, I'd have had to do different with the gas piping. And I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here. So, and the tankless was like another $400 and some more than this one. And it's like, it's just Samantha and myself. And I never have a problem with hot water. And I don't have a hot tub, and I don't have a jacuzzi tub or anything like that. So it's not like I use a ton of hot water.
Somebody with a
Teenage
busy,
girls.
somebody with a big busy house and family, can those tankless water heaters keep up with full flow in every corner of the house?
You could do laundry, turn on every faucet, have somebody in the shower 24 hours a day, and you'd still have enough hot water.
Really?
Yeah, I put in my wife's stepson, paraplegic, who passed away last year, but that's how I did his bathroom. I put a tankless water heater in, and it was great for him because, yeah, he could take an hour, 2, 3 hour showers and hot water all the time. But when it's running, it sounds like a jet engine.
Well, yeah, that you figure.
And it really sucks the gas, and yeah, you gotta have a specified diameter going in, and the right water column flow and all that.
Okay, so I couldn't just go if my 70 gallon, I guess that's per hour, hot water heater, just gas water heater blew out. I couldn't just swap it bang bang like that without replacing a bunch of plumbing.
Well, okay. What makes it expensive on a tankless water heater is the chimney. You spend just as much on a tankless water heater on the chimney as you do buying a unit.
I got a chimney coming out of that closet.
The chimney is a special kind of chimney. It's required by code. It's a double wall.
Yeah, this one is
3 inch. It's a 3 inch inside of a 5 inch.
okay. Mine was built out of brick in 1947, so it probably wouldn't.
Yeah, a foot of that is $100 for a foot.
Holy shit!
So what we did was, it's perfect for a basement, a casement basement window. You know, in the basement, if you got a window, that's what I did. And all I needed was just the kit, which with a starter kit, I think they call it, where it gives you the exit pipe, an elbow, and a straight pipe, and it was all for $100.
Yeah, if you're on an outside wall, it's not bad.
Right.
And that's what my brother wanted to do, and I said, well, we got to find an outside wall, because if you're going to use a chimney with that thing or any length, you're really paying up the butt for that stainless steel.
Right. So go figure, $100 a foot.
My closet's outside. It's got a wall between the water heater and the outside air, so I could.
That'd be perfect then.
Yeah. They even had. I've seen YouTubes where they mounted inside the house.
Yeah.
You know, and they give you with this kit, this exit kit. I think, I can't remember what kit they call it. Anyway, yeah, they give you a plate that you got to put on your wall, because you got to, the plate's probably about 2 foot by 2 foot, or 14 inch by 14 inch or something like that. So that way, for the heat, because that pipe does get hot. The inner pipe does. The outer pipe doesn't really get hot so much. But still, you got to be safe about, you don't want to put nothing when the pipe goes through the house. You want to make sure that, hey, you're good to go.
Yeah, you might have to have a different meter put in. It's like the one on my house. I had the bigger meter that'll flow, I don't know, 500,000 BTUs or whatever it is, and that's 1.25 inches. Most of them are 1 inch, which is 300 and something or whatever, just for the, but you got pressure drop and stuff like that. So depends on how close your meter is to that water heater. Then you can figure what size gas pipe you need.
Yep.
And if I was going to put in one in my house, I could have did it different, but I'd have had to go with the 1.25 inches. Well, I just ran in 1 inch, but I could always come off it again and bring in another dedicated line to it. But
or you can make your 1 inch longer you know,
Yeah.
than what you got it, and before it steps down.
Yeah, but you gotta. I think like my water heater takes 35,000 BTU, and the tankless was 220,000 BTU.
Yep.
You need a
Like I said, man, it sounds like a jet engine when it started.
Yeah, well, is it like a turbine, or is that how the air's?
No, just the exhaust of a jet, just you know. And but yeah, it's a heating fool, boy.
they call it a tankless, but it does have a tank. I don't know.
Yeah, it's about like
about that big around.
that big around. About, I don't know. His was about this long, and two of them, I think. It was also they also make them. No, they don't. I was thinking yeah, I had to have a 110 to it, power source.
Yeah, you got it for the inducer motor and stuff like that, just like a regular house. But they make one now that goes on the outside of a house. If you don't live, they say it'll actually even work up north here. But I wouldn't really trust it if it sat overnight and you're at -0 or whatever. But it'll supposed to come on and warm itself up and stuff. But if you live down south like where you do, Rusty, you could stick it on the outside of that closet on the outside of the house.
Yeah.
Then you can bring in your gas pipe from outside. You can bring it right off the gas meter, whatever. And then all you do is run your hot and cold water lines through the wall and hook into where the old one was at. And you'd be good to go.
Yeah.
Yep. Since outside, I'd put myself an electric disconnect service, a service disconnect like you would on a normal, air conditioned unit, for 110. Hell, that's perfect. It's nice. Sometimes I think, boy, it'd be great to live in the warmer areas, because up north, man, you got to put a water line in. You got to go 4 feet.
Yeah, under the ground.
That's major, dude. You want to just build a garage and you don't want it moving and all over the place. Well, you got to go 4 feet. Unless you go a floating pad, then there's homes here that are built on a floating pad.
Yeah.
Then you can't do any plumbing work.
Overhead, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Baseboard
would be your plumbing.
Yeah, I have to see what it is, because I want to bring gas out to the side of the garage just in case I put a generator out there or something, or make it so someone else, when I sell the house, could put a generator out there. But I had to figure out how deep I got to bury the damn gas line. For the reason is, it's the same thing with that. Natural gas gets so cold and it doesn't want to flow. So
well, ours here is I don't know, man. Maybe ours is different. Ours here is 18 inches.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, you don't have to go down that low.
And the only reason why is because they figured 12 inches is the deepest a tiller will go. Oh. Like you go buy a tiller and you're tilling up a garden, a lot of people in the residence. So that's how they got that figure anyway. At least that's what I was told, because I asked them, I said, how in the hell did you guys figure out 18 inches for you?
Yeah, that's a hell of a way to calculate it. But I guess.
Yeah, I know.
That's practical, though.
Yeah. So they went 6 inches below the deepest tiller.
Yeah.
Pick and shovel will go a whole lot further than that.
Yeah. If they know 15 inches is overkill, then it's a reasonable way to do it.
Well, when we were kids, we were playing croquet. So we're in our buddy's backyard. So we're setting up the deal, and we put in the main, the main peg or stake or whatever you want to call it. And we go to pound it down in the ground. Bang, bang. I said, we're like, man, this thing ain't going in. And the kid there, his dad owned the place. Let me see it. You whack, whack, whack. Let it go. The thing come popping up out of the ground. And a hiss and smell of gas. We punctured right through a gas line that went to his gas grill in the backyard.
Oh,
Yeah.
crap.
Oh, his dad was pissed. But if you'd have had it down 18 inches, we wouldn't have hit it.
Yeah, well, I had a young kid on a backhoe, and I told him exactly where the gas pipe was, and I said, just go ahead and dig the rest of it, and we'll leave this spot and come back to it. And I said, I'll help you locate it. Okay. Well, I figured he's going to be a long time digging, so I'm going to go up and get me some sandwiches and bring them back. I come back, and someone else talked him into digging, and he started digging. As soon as I got out and was going like this, boom, he hit it. Gas going everywhere, and he's like freaking out. Everyone's freaking out. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I said, well, I said, get some gas so you don't fill the rest of the hole up full of gas, So we filled some dirt, and kind of encased it, in its own little pocket down there. And then I said, just leave it where it's at. And everyone, let's turn everything off and get away.
We come out, shut it off.
Yeah, I mean, he already had a good part of the ditch dug. And that gas is heavy and it's low, and so it could fill your whole ditch up.
Yeah.
So at least we got ahead of it and filled part of that ditch up to keep it contained. But that ended up, hey, I told you guys to wait. I said, I ain't paying the bill on this. It ended up costing $630. And it was a plastic line, and it was just a snip, clean here and there. They had it repaired in 30 minutes. And it was $600 for 30 minutes.
One time the telephone company came over to our house and was burying the lines, and they had to make a run up the driveway and turn the corner, and they busted one of our water lines. And so the water company, or whoever they called, came out and fixed it. And then over the next week or so, we had to replace every damn strainer on every faucet in the house. And
oh, yeah.
more crap in the pipe.
Yeah. What really sucks is if you get that shit lodged in a toilet valve, or or in a shower head, or that really blows. Or you're hard to get two hoses for your washer.
Yeah. Hey, I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna go set that gas pressure on my furnace, because it feels like it's about 68 in here right now. So
okay,
it's getting cold out. It's 23 degrees out. So I'm gonna set that real quick, and then I'll be done with that. And
good luck. Be careful.
hey, since I know you guys are about as old as I am, where in the hell would I put all my orifices and stuff? Because 10 years ago, when I was younger, I decided to put them someplace I wouldn't forget, that I couldn't forget.
I always laid them on top of my water heater.
So now,
nothing's laid on top of your water heater. At least I keep my water heater clean. Yeah, that's where I'd keep it.
Your water heater, you spray paint. What are you talking about?
Yeah, man, got to keep it looking beautiful. Right? I take care of my water.
I can't believe I can't find the box of changeover parts for my stuff.
It's someplace safe.
I had to go yesterday and buy a damn changeover for the furnace. Cost me $60.
Either that, or get like a screw bag, a bag that you can cinch up and tie on to the furnace somewhere, or a gas pipe.
It's someplace that's really safe and makes a lot of sense. That's all I can tell you.
You left them at Lowe's.
Now, I put them someplace that they're really safe, and it made a lot of sense at the time. But it makes no sense to me now, because I've checked all over, and I'm like, where in the hell would I put them? Only thing I can think of is they got in a box, and for some reason the box got thrown out or whatever. But yeah, it pissed me off. I got to go buy all the stuff and put it back in. But it's like, oh well.
You'll come across them later.
And all I needed to change this thing over, because I can drill out orifices, with 2 little springs, and they're lighter than what would be in an ink pen.
Yeah.
So I'm like, can you get, you have the springs. They said, well, if we don't have them, we can get them. All right, well, let me get a couple springs then. They said, what do you think them springs cost? And I said, what? They said, $35 a piece.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
my land of living.
I could buy.
I know they got to be precision, but come on now.
That's bullshit. I mean, I bought the whole kit, came with 2 springs, 21 orifices, and all this other shit for depending on whatever furnace it takes. I mean, the damn bag weighed a pound with all the brass in it. That was $60. For the 2 little springs that goes in every gas valve, $35 a piece.
That'll be 50 cents for a sack full of them.
Oh shit! I mean, it'd $10 more to buy just the springs than it was to buy the whole kit.
All right.
I'll be back in 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, leave the camera on in case the house blows up. We'll know what happened.
Yeah, call 911.
He lives in Michigan.
Yeah, I got. I'm looking at a magazine I got today, and see you're right in there, Rusty. Congratulations on got the pictures. I knew you won intermediate. You know.
Oh, where was that? At Triple Tree last May or something?
Yeah, the Stunt News. I got it.
Yeah, that's a pretty good picture.
Yeah, and I did see your flying video of the combat plane.
The little Satan.
Yeah, a little roller coaster.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a little Satan.
It was at Half A Day in Huntersville.
No, your video I got you the other day. You went flying a couple days ago, didn't you?
No.
4 days ago.
October was the last time I went flying. Except up at Watt's house, I was there when Howard and Max were flying a combat plane.
Yeah.
All I flew that day was in a little bar stool. So what are you looking at? Did you get my newsletter I sent out?
You was filming it.
Was that the newsletter that I sent out today?
Yeah, I just got it not too long ago.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody got it because I had an email error. I was afraid nobody got them. Yeah, that was Max Flo and Howard Shenton, and I was filming them flying some combat plane, and they had a hell of a time getting that engine to run. It turned out to have a bad bladder on it. Yeah,
but the second time it seemed to do all right there.
They finally changed bladders and it ran fine.
But there, man, I was watching him and he was walking towards the trees. And
yeah.
And that guy brought him back to the center. And I'm like, because I was going, oh,
yeah, I remember that.
And they brought him back to the center. And I'm like, whew. You know, and he was going radically up and down. I was like, man,
he was roller coastering like crazy.
Do some lazy eight so he can stop spinning for a little bit, you know?
Yeah, he's just gotten his feet back under him pretty good. For a couple of years there, he wasn't able to fly, but I'm glad to see him getting up there and able to fly again.
Yeah, well, that's great.
I'm glad you got the newsletter. I was afraid nobody got them. I was late getting it out anyway. And then I got an error from Norton Security that something was wrong. And I didn't get my test copies in my email until hours and hours later. So,
hey, talking about security, do any of you guys ever buy security like McAfee's or?
I got Norton
protection every year.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah, I renew Norton every year. You don't have to buy it or download. I mean, you have to buy it, but you just.
What's it cost you a year, man? You don't mind I ask.
I didn't understand what you said.
What's it cost you a year? If you don't mind me asking, I just
between 49 and 69.
49 to 59.
Yeah, they run specials and they start pestering me a month ahead of time, and then I usually wait for a special to come along and buy it right from Norton, as opposed to used to have to go to the store and buy a box and install it, but now you don't have to do anything like that. They just constantly upgrade it as it goes along, every week, every day, however, whenever it needs.
You get it to it. You can also use it on your phone.
Yeah, you can buy different packages, and I just buy the one for one PC, which is the cheapest, but you can buy it for a combination, and you just go to the Symantec website and look up Norton Security and decide which package you need.
The kids bought me a laptop, and of course they bought me the virus protection McAfee's.
Yeah.
And man, it's $125 a year.
I've never cared that much for McAfee, but Norton used to be widely hated by all because it was such a resource hog, but it's not anymore. It's extremely efficient now, and it keeps everything out. I never ever.
Now I got it for $90 for 2 years.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty good.
$45 a year. That was pretty good, I guess. I don't know, but
I never ever get infected with anything, but I'm smart. You know, I don't go clicking on things that will get you infected. What do you use, Eddie?
I don't have any right now. We just had usually whatever comes on the computer when we get it.
The main thing to do, if you don't have any protection, you know, Windows 10's built-in system works just fine too. But back up once or twice a week a full system image, and you know, get a free backup program like I use Macrium Reflect. A lot of people used to use Acronis True Image, but it's a clunker now. And I just run 2 backs a week, one on Monday at 2 o'clock in the morning, one on Wednesday at 2 o'clock in the morning, and or Thursday at 2 o'clock in the morning. And so if I get bit by something, I just go back. I keep 5 of them stacked up, and I just go back to the one that I know is least likely to be infected, and take all the files that have changed since then and put them in a folder somewhere, and then upgrade it. Boom, just like it never happened. So if you don't have virus protection, that's definitely the way to go. And for $100, you can get, or even cheaper, you can get a 2 terabyte Seagate Slim drive and leave it unplugged when you're not using it as a backup, because you don't want it to get anything through the cable that infected the rest of your computer. So I just plug it in on backup day, check the file the next morning, and unplug it until the next backup time.
I don't have that regimen. Sounds like
there's nothing you could do that would blow my files so that I couldn't recover them in 2 hours, and that's unless the house burned down and took out the backup drive with it. But I got a lot of stuff on the cloud too, but nothing that really counts, just pictures and shit.
Yeah.
I was hoping I could use Dropbox as a cloud backup, but I hadn't figured out how to do it, because I use it for hosting. You know, when you put pictures on a forum or something, you can either use the forum's picture hosting service if they've got it, but you got to meet their size demands like Stunthangar, or you get a outside host like Photo Bucket or something like that, and that's always so eaten up with ads. So fuck that. I got Dropbox, and I went ahead and paid each year to have the Pro size edition. I got a terabyte of storage, which I'll never fill up, and so I just when I post pictures on a forum, it comes right out of my Dropbox folder, and I don't have to go to anybody else to host it. And it'll never disappear.
No, I don't do that either.
Not till I know how. The bucket, and nobody pays the bill every year, and it's not that much. In fact, when you get that newsletter that I send out, you're getting it from my Dropbox account.
Yeah, I just haven't really haven't been giving that a much of a thought, doing stuff like that. But I think I probably should.
You'll be kicking yourself one day when all the stuff you've had for 10 years is gone and unrecoverable. You'll wish you'd spent that $80 on a slim drive.
Huh. Slim drive.
I think that's what it's called. Hang on just a second here. I got it right. I just got it Velcroed to the top of my computer. It's a little Seagate drive, and it holds 2 terabytes of files. And it's got a proprietary wire on it. So, but I guess if somebody broke in the house and stole it, but that's a possibility. But there's nothing that could financially screw with me. It's just a matter of losing my files that I use for everyday stuff.
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah.
What covering do you use on your planes?
This one over here, the Crusader is nothing but silk span.
Silk span.
But my Stuka and my Bastard and my other P40, it's polyspan.
Polyspan. That's what I was trying to
The
think.
polyspan, I like the polyspan because it's super strong, but it's hard to finish because, man, you got to watch the fuzzies. Just watch the fuzzies. As soon as you get the fuzzies down, you can stop clear doping. That's how I'm going to do it next time. Because, man, I wasn't watching close enough, man, and I had fuzzies. And boy, you get fuzzies. That's a big mistake.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling us about that.
Yeah.
Don't you heat that though?
Yeah. So I'm like this. The only thing I worry about is the grass. If because sometimes there's some weeds out there, you know, every now and then as you're taking off, it might hit, you know, and could poke a hole. But I'm really, yeah, I'm gonna chance it, but we'll see how this Crusader does, you know. But I handle my planes really super careful, and I keep them clean, and you know, when I'm at events, and I try to watch them in the sun, you know, and stuff on the tarmac. And so we'll see what the silk span does versus the poly span.
But you use the you said you use that apple barrel or whatever just to.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you
know, I'm doing it because it works for me, but
right. Well, I'm just saying.
I'd hate for you to mix it up and then you spray it and then you put all this work into a plane and you're like, Tom.
Well, no, that's what I was wondering. You know,
I don't want that to happen, but
your color and everything. That's what I always wondered. You know, your color is doesn't have to be fuel proof. It's just your clear coat.
Exactly.
So, but as long as it's compatible and doesn't lift your paint, then you're good to go, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, you can see when you add this thinner. I'm going to try another thinner from Lowe's called Gico, and it's only $15 a gallon. So,
what do you use to clear coat it?
Well, it's not fuel proof either, but it's I use clear dope. You know, it's a glue. It does get hard, but you know, I just watch it. You know, like I said, I keep my airplane clean. I mean, you know, I get oil on it from my exhaust, you know, like that's hot fuel as they call it. But I'm on my second year with the plane that I run, you know, and I don't have paint coming off, and when I clean my plane, I don't feel it getting sticky yet or any, you know, near the places where there's a lot of fuel. But yeah, I'd like to be able to. I think my building capabilities are getting to the point where I can build a good aircraft lightweight. So I think on this next build that I'm doing, this Hurricane, I'm hoping that you know, I can use an auto clear. You know.
Hey, Jamie.
Hey.
Hi, Jamie. So, you know, an auto clear is real. You know, it's got a hardener you can put in it, and when it dries, it's hard. It's super hard. But then again, you know, whatever you use, that's exactly what the weight is. So if you have 4 ounces of weight that you weighed, thinner and paint and everything, and you're ready to spray, well, you're going to have 4 ounces on there. That's why I say, you know, till you get to the ability to build real light, you know, I'm going to use this light paint. you know.
Well, I just curious as what the
Jamie, have you got your YouTube going on audio?
No, I joined in through the forum.
All of a sudden, Eddie's reverberating.
I can hear myself.
It quit now.
Okay. But I was just wondering, you know, with the clear coat, what you were using, because I knew you used the.
Now I use a butyrate non-tautening Randolph clear.
Okay.
Now that's what Sparky uses, but on the nose he uses polyurethane. He uses urethane.
I hadn't heard Sparky say, does he use non-tautening butyrate?
Oh, that I don't know. That's a good point there.
I think he said he uses the tautening on everything.
I believe he does, yeah.
But he said something about adding castor oil to it to what do he call it?
Thicken the viscosity.
No, it was, what did he say it was doing?
Yeah, I know. In fact, I got it right here, right now. I got it written down right here. But
he put 1 drop to every ounce or something like that.
I vaguely remember that too, but not the reason. What is it, Tom?
I know. I just wrote down. On my paper, I just wrote down castor oil, 1 drop. Damn it. Yeah.
It was on last I think it was on Monday night's broadcast.
Yep. It was within a week or 2.
But he was talking about doing that to keep it from continuing to shrink. Wasn't the butyrate or the tautening, it continues to tighten up over a lifetime?
Yeah. Yep.
But the castor oil was supposed to prevent that from happening.
All right.
I wonder what the difference is between, you know, you doing that way and doing. Yeah, I'd have to ask him that. With, you know, using non-tautening.
I don't know either. Like I say, it's been 30 years since I've used any of that.
That reminds me, I got to get a hold of Cali Graphics, because he sent me a deal. His vinyl, he does really good vinyl work, but with his, you got to use PPG, or you got to use a car automotive clear coat. That you can't use dope, because if you use dope, then it wrinkles his vinyl.
Minnesota Mike just texted me.
So I asked him, I said, have you ever used non-tautening dope? Does it still do it? Because the tautening dope could be the reason why it's wrinkling the vinyl.
Okay. I've got a comment from Minnesota Mike here. He says butyrate with castor plasticizes the dope.
Plasticizes, that's what he said. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Mike. Hey, I was going to give you a shout out tonight. I'm looking at my phone while I'm talking like a moron. but
now the
anyway,
only
I was wondering how you were doing. So yeah, I was going to give you a shout out tonight before we got off. I'm glad you texted me. Thanks. Hope you're feeling good. or at least better.
In the old days, they used banana oil. I don't know where in the shit you'd get banana oil.
Banana boat.
Well, that's what they use for plasticizing.
What's plasticizing?
Makes it flexible.
What?
Makes it flexible.
Makes it flexible.
Flexible.
And maybe acts as a little bit of a hardener or softener. Hell,
It's actually a softener.
Yeah.
Huh.
Does it keep it from cracking if it twists?
Probably.
That was it. That was it. He said it keeps it from cracking.
Yeah.
I got cracks, the hairlines all over my Yak 9 because that shaky old Fox 35 made the clear coat crack.
Yeah. Well, hey man, maybe I don't know. My Stuka and my other two planes are clear coated with non-taunting. We'll see.
What was the formula? Was it one drop to a gallon or a quart?
Not to a gallon. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it said 1 drop per ounce.
That sounds like a lot.
No, I don't know if it was that much because
The
it was
stuff that Dave Brown makes is a teaspoon a pint, or a tablespoon a pint.
That's a lot. Okay. I don't think I'd do that.
Go on, if you want to go back and look, it's Monday night's episode. I think is the one I saw it on.
I'm too lazy. I'll wait and see Sparky.
Hey, Rusty.
The thing of it is, I'm old man. I'll end up forgetting one next time.
Got a question for you, man, on a Black Widow I just got.
Okay.
Now, the tank looks like the metal tank. The back plate's plastic, so that's why I'm kind of questioning things. The port on the cylinder, is it supposed to, what is the port supposed to look like?
Depends if it's a pre or a post 1996. If it's a pre 96, it's the open ports, and it's got that's a pre 96, and it's got dual bypasses inside of it, without the boost flutes, and they're deeper than I've measured them as deeper than a typical Super B, but yeah, it's got a #1 probably stamped on it somewhere. It could be on the barrel between the ports, or it could be on the corner facing of any one of the ports. Just a #1 hammered into it, and that'll prove it's a Black Widow cylinder.
Yeah, there ain't no telling, because I think the tank's actually plastic. Now I keep looking at it, I don't know.
Yeah, mine had a plastic back plate too. I never cared.
The back plate, yeah, but I mean like the tank itself, because my dad had it, and this is the 8cc tank. I want to say it's the big tank. I think it looks like it. Anyway.
Yeah, that's an 8cc. That's a plastic tank.
Oh no, that's metal.
Okay, metal tank. Yeah, with the dual.
I just had to put a scratch in it to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only thing wrong with it, I got it for $35 shipped.
Oh.
Yeah. On the case, it looks like it's shiny, but it's actually like paint's missing in a way. It's like,
yeah, it gets that anodizing gets scraped off, especially if you put a starter spring on it.
Yeah, and that might have been it, because this one don't come with a spring. It's got the little red spinner, and the compression is pretty good on it. But that's not the deal of the week right there, though. I got fortunate with that. This one is a 46 LA I picked up for $28.
Now,
not only that,
like to have, man,
it came with the 3030 muffler and the RC carb, but with an aluminum backplate though.
Oh, that's great
for an RC, and for $28, it got some pop.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great engine.
Yeah,
Minnesota Mike said to tell you, Jamie, that the plane will be in the mail Monday, and the same with the nuts. Oh, he's talking about my pistachio nuts. He's feeling a lot better.
I don't know anything about no nuts.
Between me and Mike. Yeah, he says he can't get rid of the cough, but he's feeling a lot better, and that's that's how all of us that have had these winter colds are now. I think he had worse than that, but that cough lingers forever.
Hey, Rusty.
Yeah.
What field do you fly at?
Lately it's been called Congaree, and it's in Gaston, South Carolina. But the great portion of my flights have been at Fort Jackson.
Oh, okay.
And then there's the churchyard across the street from my house when I'm flying half-A's.
Now, Samantha and I are leaving Friday to come south to fly. And it looks like the best weather I can hope for without driving all the way to Florida is going to be North Carolina, South Carolina. You know, looking at average temperatures or whatever. But I didn't know. I know that Will Davis.
Yeah.
Now, where does they fly at a different? That's North Carolina, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Huntersville, North Carolina. That's in the outer loop of Charlotte.
Now, is that? Do you know if that's a field you can fly at every day, or?
Well, yeah, that's been changing around lately because people with drones and park flyers have been going there when the cops run them off from anywhere else. So they've got a new park rule that it's open a couple of days a week, free for anybody to fly out there, but they're not supposed to use control line circle unless they're flying control line, I guess. But you could go out there as a guest on any day with one of our club members, and Will could find you somebody, Don Jenkins or Ed Ruane, or lots of guys. Max and Howard go out there all the time, and so you could find somebody to hook you up like that. I'm sure you wouldn't have any trouble arranging that. And then if you came to Columbia, you could fly. I could get you out to Congaree as a guest. I need to renew my Fort Jackson ID because it expired while I was sick this winter. But you know, that's just a matter of doing some paperwork. Are you a military retiree?
No.
That would do it too. But yeah, Congaree's open anytime. I could take you out there, or find somebody, Wayne, or Wayne anyway.
Yeah, I thought about even going there by Sparky's out to Missouri, but the high temperatures there aren't real high this time of year.
It is down here.
By your standards, hours are reasonable here this time of the year. Well, yeah, in February we had 80-degree days, but this past couple of weeks it's been cold and windy as hell. But by the time April gets here, it ought to be a lot better too.
Yeah, it says it's between 65 and 70 there as an average day.
That's about right.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, we get cold when it gets below 65.
It's been between 70 and 80 down here.
Yeah.
Any of y'all, where the states that y'all are in, are y'all required by law to have insurance when you fly?
Have what? Clearance?
Most of the fields. Yeah. That's why, we got the AMA insurance. That usually any field I go to, it'll cover.
Right. Yeah. For me, I just go out to my church and fly in the ball field out there.
Yeah.
It's not a public field or anything like that, but
none of our local
parks. If you go to an organized meet, an organized field or something like that, then for insurance purposes. But I know it's good to have, the insurance for liability purposes, but I didn't know if there was if you were required by law to have it.
Yeah. The field that we fly at all the time. That's my buddy's backyard. We made a dedicated circle out there and stuff and roll it and everything else. There you don't have to have insurance, but all of us do anyway.
Right.
Just
in case something would happen there, it'd be covered. He'd be covered.
AMA is written so that it'll cover whatever your homeowners doesn't. Now, yeah. I don't have any reason to believe my homeowners would do anything but laugh me away if I walked and told them I was flying at a park somewhere and plowed a plane through a car's windshield.
No, they will actually.
Really?
Yeah. I had everything stolen out of the back end of my truck, my airplane and box. And I was at my girlfriend's house in the city. Just got done flying. And yep, got home, went to take it, and it was gone.
Yeah, but I mean,
They stole your airplane in her box? Damn.
what was the wingspan on that?
Had to have an airplane, boys. That should tell you the size.
Did you rubber band that to your butt or what?
That's right.
Tell me, did it look like a little baby ringmaster? Or was it a beginner?
No, it's one of them.
Micro.
It was a super giant ringmaster.
It was one of them 1,000 square inch ringmasters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scaled off its flight streak off of it.
I did see one of those super giant ringmasters at Triple Tree last year. That was a shocker to walk up to and see that. Man.
I saw a video one time at Brodak that the guy was flying a double flight streak.
Yeah, that's Dan Banjo.
Dude, that daggum thing was a beast, man.
Well, that's got a Super Tiger 3200 on it or something like that.
I don't know, but he was on
his heels, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. And they showed still pictures of it, and he's like at a 45-degree angle. But what got me was he was stunting the damn thing.
Yeah, he flies a full pattern with those jet planes, with those pulse jets too.
Yeah.
But when Samantha was about, I think she was 10 years old, she was so little and stuff. She's like, "Can you take me?" Joking with him, "Take me for a ride on that thing."
But strap a saddle on it.
Yeah.
That's what I think when I see those guys out at the RC club with those 3D extras and stuff like that. So, damn, why don't you fly me down to the subway and let me get a sandwich and fly me back?
Well, I was at Toledo and they had a offshore racing, like these cigar racers or whatever. And it had 2 miniature Caterpillar diesel engines in it. And the damn engines were $10,000 a piece. And I think it was $15,000 for that boat. And the thing was 20-something feet long. It was a quarter scale of one of these things.
Holy shit.
And I'm like, if I was going to spend $35,000.
About a real boat.
My ass would be riding in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't believe what them Caterpillar engines were cool. I mean, I don't know if it was the guy that made the little 350. That's Connolly. I don't know if Connolly made them or what, but yeah, they were exact copies, quarter scale copies of a Cat diesel. But yeah, these guys getting that crazy stuff. That's nuts to spend that kind of money on stuff that big.
Yeah.
I taught my brother into building a spruce goose. He wanted to build a big airplane. I told him, I said, "I'll build the airplane if you pay for the motors for that spruce goose." Because it would take 8 of them Mokies at $8,000 a piece. Said, "You buy the motor, I'll build the airplane."
Well, it's like those Evolution radial engines they have. They're like $5,000.
Oh yeah.
They look cool though. My God, they look cool.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
You never seen a Moki radial, a true radial engine?
I've seen a radial engine.
One?
Evolution makes one.
Yeah, Evolution makes one now. And but Moki, I don't know. I like Mokis myself, the way they sound and stuff like that. But yeah, they're 6-cylinder or 8-cylinder, whatever. Things are $8,000 a piece.
Wow.
But they're huge.
Yeah, they're for the scale.
Them damn motors are that big around.
They're pretty tough to work with, aren't they? Not very operator friendly. I mean, because oil settles in the bottom of the jugs and
No, they're a 4-stroke like the 4-strokes we fly. So the oil's in the fuel. There's no oil in a crankcase.
Okay, that makes it a whole lot easier.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
you can't believe how them things idle and run. I mean, it shows a guy, he just reaches up there, pulls it through like that, flips it, blah, 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 blah. You know, the damn thing starts up and he'll run it, idle it down to like 500 RPMs and just go pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
It's cool as hell, but for that kind of money.
And the cylinders are turning with the prop, right?
No.
No.
No, it's not that type.
No. Okay. I can understand how that works, but I've never studied radials. I just have to see the guts of one to understand how.
A&P school, yeah, you got to do a practical and a test where.
Have you ever seen how a Harley Davidson piston cylinder sets up?
Not really, but it seems like
you got a main rod, and then you got the one that hooks into it, and it does this.
Well,
they just hook more into it, and that whole thing.
That's just how V8 works too. I mean, it's got a whole row of them. But for 8 or 9 cylinders, a radial would have to be arranged in a staggered spiral configuration, wouldn't they?
That's how like a Corsair is done. But on these Mokies and stuff, they're done like a Harley. They're all in line. And they got a main crank, and somehow them other pistons hook into that thing. And
there's some gears involved.
You got cylinder one fires, and just as it goes by 2, it fires, and it works. It just kind of keeps everything firing around and around and around.
Yeah.
They also have a planetary gear system in there or something like that.
That wouldn't last. They got a firing order. They got a firing order on it.
Yeah.
And our radials, if you notice, they all have to be odd number jugs. And there's gears. There's a lot of gears in there, and that got to be timed. And that is a very big procedure.
Yeah, that's to open the valves. But you'd have to Google once how they do a radial engine and how they hook. They hook them. They got like the number 1 rod, and then all the other rods hook into it. And as it goes around, somehow it works it.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I need to do is Google it and just study about it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
They're interesting.
Yeah.
Man, they're awesome. I mean, someone to take a jug off and replace a piston and jug is like nothing.
Yeah, you just knock the wrist pin out of the piston and put a new one in.
It's just easy peasy. No engine tear down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like changing a spark plug.
Jug's just got a collar around the bottom with the bolts that hold it to the crankcase.
Yeah, some of the bolts go up all the way through the jug.
Oh, to hold the head on too.
Yeah.
Seems like you'd replace those whole bolts
everything on that engine it's got hours on it. Every so many hours, a certain procedure has to be done on the motor.
You get stress fractures in those long bolts.
Yeah. After so many hours, you have to completely pull the motor out and completely tear down and micrometer everything and fix whatever's out of tolerance and put it back together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know really what the difference in performance over a radial motor to an inline. I guess they make just because the nose is shorter or something. But I think the Corsair had 24 cylinders.
I thought they got more power out of them, but I'm not sure.
Of course, Corsair had 1,300 horsepower.
Out of the radial.
I bet those radials that have the spinning cylinders really torque the plane over when you take off. That's why they quit.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, I didn't realize like on a, I rode a BMW and especially the Moto Guzzi. And when you take off, when you're sitting there at an idle, and you give it some throttle, you can feel the whole motorcycle move with you.
Yeah, it wants to roll away from the direction the engine's turning. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Well, Honda, what they did with, my brother has a ST 1300, which does, got the same kind of motor, same thing with a gull wing. But they turn the flywheel the opposite direction somehow for the transmission. So that counteracts that. That's why in a gull wing you don't get that torque effect.
That's good. That's right. The gull wing's got an inline six, doesn't it?
Yeah, see, that would give you that same all that turning like that.
Right.
And but it doesn't do it because they spin their flywheel.
Counter rotating. Yeah.
Rotate it the other direction. So you got the crank rotating one way and the flywheel rotating the other way.
Mike Lanke just joined us. We were talking about you a little earlier, Mike. What's going on?
Oh, not much, man. Just building some combat motors.
You getting warm down there at all?
What's that?
You getting warm there at all?
Yeah, it's getting warm. We've been getting a lot of rain. But we went flying RC and control line last Sunday. Found a new place to fly, a new field. The Columbia RC Flyers is about 15 minutes from our house. And I took this glider that I've got at a swap meet out there teaching Sam to fly RC. And I threw some control line shit in the car just in case. And they were all about it, man. They offered up the field adjacent to the runway. They said we can fly combat out there. We can fly anytime we want.
All right.
Oh, cool. Yeah, my field's only about, it's 2.5 blocks from me.
Some people tell me the RC guys aren't very receptive to them, but in my experience, they love to watch us.
Well, they kind of don't really have a say there whether we do or not, because it's a county park and it's open to all model aviation and RC cars. There's an RC car track there. They got a little pond where they run RC boats. So, and here's a kicker, man. You don't have to be AMA. You don't have to join the club. You can join the club if you want to, but it's free. They don't charge any dues. And the way these guys fly, they're in a Yahoo group. They send out an email and they meet like twice a week is the only time they use this field. It's on an old landfill, on a county landfill. And it's got a 400-foot paved runway, which is nice. But I got a feeling that Sam and I go out there a lot, and there's not going to be anybody there to bother. It sounds like this group of guys just gets together like 2 days a week. So I think we're going to have a field all to ourselves. We're pretty happy with
like
that.
a pretty good deal.
Well, that was like, I found it was a spillway or whatever for the wastewater here in town, and talked with them and stuff. And I belong to an RC club. Well, we're looking for a place to fly control line. So I don't know how many hundreds of acres are there. And my whole idea is that have an RC, runway, control line, and then cars. Because that way you'd have enough money for porta potties and all that kind of stuff to support all that. The things are expensive. Well, we went through and the county or the city came out and went to all these meetings and all this kind of stuff. And I knew they were going to approve it. We went to the Nats. When we got back from the Nats, the president of the club, and he was worked for the FAA as a guy in the tower. They signed the contract and wrote no RC cars or control line.
What?
Took the whole damn thing for themselves.
That's
and I'm the one who found it for control line, and then said, hey, you guys could fly here too. $1 a year is what it costs to rent it.
Wow, that's
they had to charge something, so they charge $1 a year.
Yeah, that's kind of crappy. Well, I don't have to worry about porta-johns. This is a county park, man. They actually have some really nice restrooms there, man. And
yeah.
bike path, and like
But I forget, it was like $100 a month for a porta potty or something like that. Them things are fairly, yeah.
More than that.
You know, so that was where the money was coming in on, and RC cars is about the only thing that's going on around here anymore. And they could have had the one end, and there's big piles of dirt and shit in the one end of it. And I said, hell, they'd love that, crawling all over all that dirt, and you know, and make it to where you had to pay club dues to come in there, and it'd have been really nice. But
they welcomed us with open arms, man. I mean,
that's like I had a demo to do at an RC an event, and these guys were kind of looking at me funny. But once I got set up and started flying, they want me to come next. They want me to come this year. You know, they thought it was really cool. But yet, when I first got there and everything, they was kind of like, no, I wasn't being really receptive because I was a control line flyer. Well, what are you gonna do? We're gonna be out flying RCs, man. You know. Well, I'm way down here. I'm away from you.
Well, we could have flown there, but it was a deal to where we'd have been separate, and then you'd had to have a mower, and you know, to get a mower to the field and all that kind of stuff to mow, and so we just do it at my friend's house. Now, I mean, it's even closer than that field. That other field was 2 miles, and his is only 1 mile. So
well, these guys offered to cut this field next to the runway for me.
Yeah.
Mow it, because they do the mowing out there as it is. They're like, we'll cut you a circle if you want one. I was like, okay. Not that, I mean, we probably won't be flying much stunt out there anyway. We're going to fly probably mainly combat this summer. So I want the grass tall anyway. I don't want it cut real short for crashes and such. But they welcomed us and said, go ahead, set up, fly, show us what you got.
Where are you flying stunt at, Mike?
Well, I mean, I can still fly stunt out there if I wanted to, but mainly north of Nashville. I got to drive an hour north to get to our control line field. It's at one of the guys' houses here.
Oh,
he
okay.
owns 5 acres up in Springfield, and we fly in his front yard. He lives out in the middle of nowhere, but he mows his front yard, and it's nice. I mean, it's well manicured.
You talking about Walt?
Yeah, Walt's place.
Yeah, out there on Pinson School Road.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, quick question: where do you get the fuel around here?
Well, I got in with the Indiana Skyliners last year with their club order, and I bought, I don't know, I think I bought 10 gallons, 8 gallons of 10%, cost me $10.50 a gallon, and then I got 2 gallons of 35 for the half A's. I think I paid $14 for that, because they order something like, I don't know what they have to order to get it that cheap, but 200 gallons maybe 300 or something like that.
Because I know Danielle's, they went to drones. She sold out to somebody else, and they're all electric.
Sell fuel there at all?
Huh?
Do they sell fuel at all?
I don't know. I got to go up there and see.
Where do you get a hold of Indiana Skyliners?
You can, hold on a second there, bud. You can go to Billy's place, Family Hobbies out in Smyrna. He sells fuel, and you can always just add Castor to it. You know, he's got RC fuel out there. And there's a Hobbytown USA in Lebanon you can go. They sell fuel.
Damn, that's an hour drive from me.
Yeah, well, I know. I mean,
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to find.
I mean, you buy it in quarts from SIG and have it shipped and pay top dollar. I'm
Right.
still waiting to hear back from the Skyliners about if they're going to do a fuel order this year.
Now, are you guys going to Toledo for the Toledo show here next week? Because if you go there, you can get a hold of Randy Ryan.
Yeah, Randy.
He'll bring your fuel there. That's what we do every year.
Yeah.
Because we put in a fuel order, then we pick it up right there at the show.
Yeah, that's a little far from Nashville to drive to get fuel.
Yeah.
Hey, Wally. You with us, buddy? Wally Haskett just joined. Man, hadn't seen you since last spring. Well, I see.
I got something for you.
Hey, Wally, you there?
Oh, yeah, look at there.
Hello, guys.
Hey, man.
Hey, Wally.
How is everybody?
We're good. We've been worried about you. Where you been?
Oh man, I've been all over and busy as can be, and I couldn't get on here for a while, and
Terry seems to keep up with you, so he let us know you were still alive.
Yeah, I'm still kicking, guys.
Wait, let me get back to Jamie here really quick. I think he held something up for me. He said he had.
Yeah, what was that, Jamie?
Oh, that's a back plate for a 25 LA.
Yeah, I'll send you a PM, man, with my address. Just you need any mufflers or pull off remotes or anything like that?
Nah, I don't want nothing. I'm good.
Okay, let me see here if I can figure out how to do this.
I'm gonna step away for a second. I'll be right back.
All right.
Yeah, because I replaced this one with an aluminum back plate, so I won't be needing that at all anymore. It only got one LA anyway.
Hey, Mike, quick question.
Yeah.
On that Super Chipmunk I got from you, what did you put down as a base coat on it?
I didn't. There's no dope on it.
No dope on it? Okay.
There's nothing on it. So, Jamie, what I need those for, I'm building a bunch of speed limit motors for Sam. I got a bunch of LA 25s here. This one needed a piston and liner. But I ended up, I had a couple of them had broken back plates. They were already cracked. But these ones, I just cut the needle off them and use them for combat motors. So I'm a couple short. That's why I was needing back plates. Yeah. Steve Lott said something about sending me a couple, but I PM'd him back and I haven't heard back from him. So yeah, if I could get that one from you, that would be helpful.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't have no gasket for it. I don't even know if it even came with a gasket, to be honest. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
I just ordered gaskets from Eric Rule. As a matter of fact, they just showed up today. I got a bunch. I do put gaskets on the plastic ones.
Yeah. Like I said, nothing's wrong with it.
Gaskets they come. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, the swap meets have been pretty good to me this winter, man. I scored. Well, I got 2 new box L25, like $35 a piece, and I got 2 used ones that I give like $20 a piece for. So I'm in the process of converting them all over to control line. Well, actually, to combat motors, speed limit combat motors. For saying we got planes now.
Yeah, I missed out on a brand new 46 LA at like 3 o'clock this morning for $45.
Oh, yikes!
Now I was only like maybe an hour too late to it, give or take.
Was that on eBay? Is that on eBay?
Oh, come on. Samantha isn't home, so her dog's going nuts.
I know. I've been watching you. That was funny.
She's at prom.
Hey, anybody else get any of these Brian Gardner piston and liner sets?
I got one for the 35 Fox or 36 Fox. I know it was nice. That really made a big difference in power on that thing.
Yeah, I got a couple of those. I didn't get the Brian Gardner sets because mine were pretty much new and they still run pretty good. I'm talking about for the LA 46. I got 2 sets from him for the LA 46, and I'm thinking about just instead of converting existing motors, I'm going to buy new cases and just build brand new motors around the parts that Brian said. The head, it's a piston and liner and a connecting rod and a wrist pin. The only thing you need is a case and a crank and a back plate, and you're in business, man.
You got Dick's phone number?
Yeah, I got Dick. Yeah.
I can't. There's a Japanese place that sells parts.
Yeah, he turned me on to it when I was looking for the back plates and the Venturis. It's called OS Japan or RC Japan.
RC, yeah, that's it. My computer went down and.
I ordered about $75 worth of shit from them, and it was half the price of what Tower is.
Yeah.
Half of what you buy on eBay. And that's why I was talking about the LA-46 cases. You know, they're $44 on eBay and at Tower. RC Japan has them for $18.
Yeah, what I did was I bought a couple old 40 engines that were kind of, you know, wasted or whatever. I think that I bought them, that one I bought for $5 and one I bought for $10, and all I wanted was the crank. I ordered all the parts from RC Japan and put a whole 46 together for $58.
Yeah.
Plus the $5 for the thing, you know.
Yeah.
But
well, that's what I'm gonna doing with the Brian Gardner parts. I think I got 120 in each set, but then I can buy all the stuff to build the rest of the motor for about $40 from RC Japan. I'm still gonna be $160, $170 motor, but it's that Brian Gardner set, and
that's supposed to be ground. It's supposed to be the same timing and shit as like an Aero Tiger 36.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I heard they got some pretty wicked stunt runs on them.
Yeah, Randy gave him the angle to cut the ports in and stuff. That was a few years ago.
Okay.
That first run come out. And then he's done some since then. But yeah, the guys really love them. I can't believe that they run better than a LA-46, you know, but they're saying they do.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I'm thinking I want to use new cases and not something that's used just because it's a bush motor, you know, it'll have a brand new bushing in it to start with. But it should run for forever. It should last forever.
Yeah, but that's why I figure if you get to like a swap meet or whatever, usually you can get in these dead motor bins, you know, guys like all the motors in there for $5. I'll snag the LA-40s because it's the same crank.
That's I scored a couple of Thunder Tiger 36s like that, guy's junk bin, $5 a piece down at Perry, Georgia. Got needles and venturis from Randy and started them up, and they run just great. They run fantastic.
So when is that swap meet down there?
Perry, Georgia. It was a few weeks ago, I think.
Oh shit!
Just like Toledo, it's the same as Toledo, except they don't have vendors.
Okay.
Manufacturers, they don't have. There's not a trade show there, but it's just the swap meet at Toledo, basically.
Either Friday night or Saturday morning next week, we're leaving. We're coming down south to fly for a week.
Where are you going?
Days. So.
Where are you going?
I think we may be going to like North Carolina, South Carolina area, just to try to find decent 70-degree weather.
Yeah.
And you know,
we
could have went to Missouri there, but they're looking. You know, they're like 55 to 65, and it's like, geez, you know, that's kind of. If I'm going to drive that far, I want to make sure I get some good weather, and we got to go to a place we can fly every week, or I mean every day.
Hey, before we get too far along, I wanted to ask: did you say the crank for a 46 is the same as the LA-40 and the FP-40?
Yeah.
The cranks are the same for all of those.
Yeah.
Yep. As far as I know, they are. They just changed the cylinder size, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Steve?
Yeah.
Yep. The size of the piston.
That's good to know. I've got a couple of 40 cranks in here out of combat motors. It's LA-40 combat motors that I've had gone head to head and knocked the cylinder head off or broke the case or something. So I kept.
Yeah, so if you go to RC, that's what I did because I got that one that was bad. I went to RC Japan, and I got the case and.
Yeah, I think the cranks on RC Japan are only like maybe $11 or something. They're not real expensive.
Yeah, they're not all that bad, but I figured, you know, out of $5, you know, if you got some old 40s,
yeah,
save $11. You know, you're never worth crank out.
Yeah.
And if it comes with the new head, you know, I wasn't thinking. I ordered all my stuff and went to put it back together. And then the head didn't work. And I'm like, shit, you dumbass, Steve.
Was it the same cylinders, Steve, or did they
change the cylinders? No, the cases bore out a little bit. So you can.
Okay, so it's for a bigger sleeve.
Yeah.
I think if you had a 40 and a decent machinist could easily turn it into a 46 and put a bigger liner, you know, put the bigger liner in it.
Yeah, you You probably could
Hey,
pull it out.
that's why a 46 is lighter than a 40.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Less metal. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna switch my camera around. Another swap meet find last weekend. I don't know if you can see that. That's a 40 size trainer, RC trainer. Here's the wing right here. I think it's like an Eagle 63 or something like that. It's not a Cadet or anything.
Yeah, it looks like an Eagle.
I think it's an Eagle 63. We scored that for $30, and it had all the servos in it. Just needed a motor.
That's sweet, man.
Yeah, and Jamie, look what I put on it. You were asking about
yeah, that Tower 46.
Yeah, I have one in my Kyosho Mustang, and I'll tell you what, it hauls the flipping mail, dude. Those things, they really wind up, and they'll go. I had asked my friend Larry about converting one over to control line, and he picked the engine up and said, "Man, it's just too heavy. I don't think there's any real benefit to make."
Yeah,
line."
I mean, I didn't know what I was getting into. I got it dirt cheap, and so I'm like, I'll buy it anyway. I got it online, but it weighs like 12 ounces, and it's like, it's a brick.
And the muffler is as big as a 2-liter bottle too.
Oh yeah, that thing.
They're fucking big. Do you fly RC, Jamie?
I used to. I mean, look, that muffler's like I could barely even wrap my hand around.
Holy crap!
I mean, it's a strong motor, man. If you get some, mid-sized pattern ship or something like that, like a Chaos or something, it'll go 90 miles an hour, man. It's a great motor if you like to fly fast RC shit.
Yeah, I mean, I used to fly RC way back in the Gap, but since I jumped back to control line, I just ain't had to no wants for it.
Hey Tom, how's your weather been up that way?
Oh, hit and miss right now. And then there'd be a day, oh man, perfect day to go flying. That was a couple weekends ago. And and I was busy and couldn't get there, to be able to go flying. But we're getting close. Right now we're getting hit with rain, and it's supposed to turn into 6 to 8 inches of snow by tomorrow afternoon.
Well, spring's coming, man.
I'm ready for my pipe stunt ship.
Nice, beautiful.
I don't know what y'all fussing over. It's been like 80 degrees over here like the last week.
Oh.
Yeah, Steve, I'll give you my address if you want to send that to me.
I think this thing weighs 24 ounces.
Holy crap.
That's just the break-in propeller.
That is a lot of propeller. Wow.
That's break-in. Yeah, that's a 145. It's going to go on one of my airplanes. But I still fly RC, but Samantha hates it, so I don't fly very often.
I'm getting back in.
Well, it's still good to hang around control line, isn't it?
Yes, I crash too many control lines. I can go out and fly all day and fly RC and nothing happens. And I was like on that Pampa thing, they asked how many flights does it take to trim an airplane? And I said, well, I only get about 10 flights before I crash, so I guess 10.
Hey, Steve, are you guys going to be around the weekend of May 19th and May 20th?
No, we won't. Samantha graduates on the 24th. She'll be off to school, but she will be just hanging around the house because.
Well, the reason I'm asking, there's Detroit's having a combat contest that weekend, and
we might be able to run over there for combat. I mean, yeah, we just won't go very far.
My kid's last day of school is Friday the 18th, and we're bolting up today. They're gonna fly speed limit, half A, slow, fast, and F2D fast. I don't know what speed limit will be on Saturday. I do know that. So you ought to get Dick and grab some speed limit planes and bring Samantha down, man, to fly combat with us.
Yeah, I'll see what she wants to do.
That's the same day as the trip.
I was going to say, too, if you want any fuel from Rich's brew, we can order it and we can get it to you on that weekend. You know, I don't know how you're going to get your fuel because we're gonna hit Toledo.
Yeah, I'm still holding out on the Skyliners. I'm just waiting to hear back on when they're going to do their order. It was April last year they did it. So.
See, I don't know why Dick always buys his. I mix mine. You know, I just go to Toledo and I pick up the nitro, and then I have Randy bring me in some castor oil, and then Clot sells nitro in the synthetic right there, and it's like half price of what you can buy it from a vendor. And
Yeah.
I mix fuel for $8-9 a gallon.
Right.
That's awesome, man.
I mean, like I said, I was buying Sig Champion for $10.50 a gallon last year.
That's a hell of a price.
You know, and it
I wouldn't even mix if I could get it for that.
Right, I know. And I bought 10 gallons last year, and we burned every bit of it up. I think I'm down to my last gallon or so. Still got some 35 left. Of course, I don't run a whole lot of that. I only use that in my Russian half-A's.
Yeah.
You going to Toledo, Ohio? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, yep.
You going to see
going?
Jeff?
Pardon me?
Are you going to see Jeff?
Oh yeah, Jeff's always there.
I tried to call him today, but he doesn't have my new number, and I just got his voicemail.
Mike, you coming to Huntersville?
Oh yeah, me and
Good.
Sam were there Friday morning, Thursday night.
Well, I got word yesterday.
When is Huntersville? When is the contest?
May 4th, 5th, and 6th. Cinco de Mayo.
So it'll be after that we get down there.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo. But I got word yesterday in my follow-up appointment from my bone cutter, and he said now that I can walk without the cane part-time, then I'm free to do whatever I want to. So I'm gonna try flying. I'm gonna try flying as soon as I can.
That's awesome.
Well, hell, we'll get you on Dancing with the Stars if you can do anything you want.
I need to stand in the living room and turn some circles and just, get my balance back. But yeah, I'm ready to give it a try. But it's either been rainy or cold or both or windy or all three. And so hopefully some nice weather's coming along within the next few weeks.
I hope it's coming along within a week, because that's why I told Samantha. I said, I don't know where the hell we'll end up, but we got to go someplace and, have a place to fly.
Well, cold to me, not cold to you. So you'll be all right temperature-wise down here.
Yeah. As long as it's above 55 and the wind ain't blowing, it's good.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's good.
If the wind's blowing a little bit, you need it above 60. Otherwise, it feels cold for me, too.
Yeah. Steve, I said I could take you out to Congaree, but I couldn't do that every day. And I don't know if I could find enough people to take you out there every day. But in Huntersville, I think Will could find somebody, because, Don Jenkins and Ed Ruane and Howard and Max, and there's always somebody flying at Huntersville.
Well,
so.
if I have to, I'll just join the club for a week.
That's true. You could do that.
Well, Steve, can I throw out another option to you?
Yeah.
The Indiana Skyliners, they're in Sellersburg, right just north of Louisville. I mean, they're just, when you cross out of Kentucky into Indiana, they're right there. They've got a paved circle on an airport there. And I'm sure Mike Stinson flies down there, and Wes Eakin flies down there. I don't know if you know those two guys.
Yeah, I know Mike.
Yeah. I'm sure they could get you in there for a weekend of flying.
I bet you. I guarantee they would.
Yeah, and that's, for you, let me think here. That's 3 hours for me. You're coming from GR. You're only looking probably about 6 hour drive max to get
there. That's right. Charlottesville was 12 hours. I can go back to Florida and stay with my uncle for free. Fly there at the school, but I don't know what's going on at the school. Saturday and Sunday you can fly for sure, on the weekends, but during the week it's in the middle of the track. That's where they let you fly.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it'd be a much shorter drive for you, and if you had decent weather, I think you could fly there all week long, and nobody would give a shit. Like I said, it's on a county airport, and they got a nice paved circle there, and they put in a grass circle last year for combat that they're still grooming. But
I guess we could even start there, because the way we'd come down, if we went Charlotte, would be, going down through probably Indianapolis. But it's just as long as the weather's warm is the only thing that, we're looking at.
Right.
Just look on your weather map, man.
Yeah, see that's what I figure. They usually only go a week out. I told Samantha, probably by Thursday, we'll make our mind up on where we're headed.
What's the name of the place? I'm on the weather.
What's the name of the town, Mike?
Sellersburg, Indiana. You can pretty much type Louisville. It's just
you can type in Louisville.
They're 5 miles apart.
Well, there's Paducah down there someplace too. I don't know.
Paducah is kind of northwest Kentucky. Yeah, and they do not have a paved circle. They have 1, 2, 3 grass circles, and that's an RC club.
Okay.
Fly. How long of lines is she flying on?
62s, I think.
Okay, because I was going to tell you the other option. There is a beautiful, like glass, control line speed circle in Bowling Green, Kentucky that nobody uses. And I mean nobody. This guy, one of the club members, they fly a lot of RC jets up there at this club. They had 2 guys that fly control line. Well, one of them was Steve Drake. I don't know if you ever ran into him or if anybody's ever known Steve Drake. He was an old pattern flyer that got into control line, and he moved up to advanced like in one summer. But anyway, he's a member there. The other guy was an old speed flyer, about a 75-year-old guy. He paid $80,000 out of his own pocket to put an official FAI speed circle in at Bowling Green.
How big is it?
It's like 65 feet. It's very tight for stunt because it's a speed circle. He wanted to
fenced in, right?
It's fenced in. He wanted to host a World Cup FAI speed event in Bowling Green. So he paid to have this circle put in, and 6 or 7 years ago, they did. They had the World Cup speed event there. We went up there to watch it. There was guys from Japan, Russia, Australia, England. I mean, it was a true FAI World Cup speed event. It was the Worlds. Wow. And they had it at Bowling Green like 2 years in a row, and then the circle hasn't been used since.
Wow.
I go up there and fly my Pulse jet from time to time, and we have flown stunt on it. But one of the guys, I mean, if you get more than 4 feet out of the circle, out of the center, you're gonna whap one of the poles on the net, and that's that. But it's a beautiful circle. It's like glass. I'm not kidding. And the entire thing is paved. There's no grass infield or anything.
Okay, so they keep their fences up all the time. I was saying maybe if they took their fences down.
I believe they part of them drop down on one side, but the rest of it is kind of like a cage that's there all the time. And the bad thing is, even the part that drops down, it's right next to a cliff. It's literally rock. I mean, the fence foot away from a rock wall, straight up about 20 feet, because that's where they had to put the circle. But it's a beautiful circle, and it's a shame it doesn't get flown on more. It's a shame they couldn't have made it 5 feet bigger.
Well, that was like in Kalamazoo here. They put it in a paved circle at the Kalamazoo Air Museum, gave them land and stuff and the club came and put in a 60-foot circle. And then it drops, then it's grass, but it drops down, and they put in all that pavement, but it goes from 45 to 60, and everybody's on 60 and better lines. Most of the guys all fly 62 and above. So you take off and then you run back to the center, and when you try to land, you try to walk
Yeah.
back and land on the pavement, which is kind of a pain in the ass. But
Yeah.
the Kalamazoo circles, I mean, it's a nice place to fly, but they made the circle a little too small. And now the membership's down so far, they were always going to add on another 10 feet. But a membership is only like 6, 7 guys, and I forget what it cost them to put that paved circle in themselves. It was crazy expensive.
Yeah. Well, I noticed one in Bowling Green had a price tag of $80,000, man.
Yeah.
Mark Weiss is talking about submitting Triple Tree for a near future world championships.
Where is Triple Tree at?
That's in Woodruff, South Carolina. It's about 90
Near
minutes
Spartanburg.
west of Columbia. Yeah, between Columbia, Spartanburg, Greenville, that area.
Because I was even thought about trying to get a hold of that guy and see if that Samantha and I could go down there and fly for the week.
Call Mark. He can arrange it, I bet. That's a great idea that I didn't say anything about. And that's near me, so you can come visit me in between
camp
flights.
there. Steve,
yeah,
you can your camper and camp there.
Yep.
My camper got totaled.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. Well, last year in the springtime, we had real bad storms and stuff. And I had junk all over my yard, and the neighbors and everybody was bitching about it. Well, then we got, I don't know, a couple weeks before the Nats, I go out there to make sure that the furnace, air conditioner, all that kind of stuff works. And I see crap all over my kitchen table. This brown looking goo. And I'm like, what the hell is that?
No, you got a leaker.
And it was running out of the light above the table. Mm-hmm. And so I get up on the roof and look, and I got 3 gashes. There was like a 1-foot gash, a 6-inch gash, and then another 1 foot. And so all that trash, and there were some lawn chairs. Only thing I can think of is a lawn chair got airborne or something and hit the side of that trailer, cut the awning, and then just skipped across the top of the trailer and just put big ass cuts in it. And it warped everything. So you didn't get in it last year, huh? Dick came over. We patched the roof. I ran the heat in it to dry it out.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, it was in the summertime, and I had that heat turned up, and it was like 100 and some degrees in there trying to dry that stupid thing out. It stunk bad, but once we aired it out and used a bunch of Febreze and stuff, we made it for another week. When I got home, they totaled it.
Wow.
Talk about a big money pit that was.
Yeah, I bet.
Steve,
that's just like driving a damn car off the car lot. What it's worth. Like,
Dad said there's only two. Dad said there's only 2 types of campers: those that leak and those that will leak.
Steve, you know Mark, don't you? Mark Weiss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely call him, and he'll, he can put you in touch with somebody, or possibly, he can get you the go ahead himself.
Okay. Hey, Tom, did you see what the weather was there by Louisville?
Yep. Not good. It's got it's rain. Monday, 40 to 80% during the day and night.
Now that's this Monday or next Monday?
Next Monday. Yeah, this coming Monday.
Oh, no, we'll be leaving on the 1st, April Fool's Day.
Okay. Well,
Sunday.
That's Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Well, then we're leaving on the 31st then, or something of March. The Saturday before Easter.
Yeah, this year's Easter Sunday comes in on April Fool's.
this only goes as far as next Friday.
Yeah, what does it say next Friday is supposed to be temperature wise and stuff?
30% chance of showers, high of 57.
Yeah, see, I kind of want to get a little higher in temperature than that. So that's why I'm thinking North South Carolina. For the averages, they're up around 70. That'd be beautiful flying weather.
Yeah.
So, Eddie, are you going to do some flying? Have you been doing any flying?
I've flown a couple of times out at my church, but nothing. I hadn't been out to waltz any. I hadn't Hadn't had time. I'm planning on doing some this year though.
Okay, well, I saw you getting active on the Facebook stuff and that. I thought you might be coming back.
Hey, Gerald.
Hey, Gerald.
Hey, Gerald.
Our buddy from down under.
Yeah, I plan on coming out there, Mike. I just got to get some fuel because my fuel's all gone bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm in the same boat, man. I'm not holding much myself.
I'm down to 1/4 cig, so I need to get some too.
I got enough to make about 50
Used to be able to count on Bob Krug to show up at Huntersville, well, in October at least, but or Tom Dixon sometimes comes with.
Man, Krug is charging like $25 a gallon for that stuff, man.
Hey, when I was in Florida, or no, in Texas, we stopped by Hobby People, and I got a gallon of fuel from them, 15%, and it was like 30 something. He gave me a deal. I got it walked out of like $31 for a gallon of fuel. I about fell over.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
And
ridiculous.
he gave you a deal. Woo.
10% was like 29, you know.
I don't mind paying $20 a gallon at a contest, but I'm not paying 25. You know.
Correct.
That's,
All right.
Yeah, that's what I paid for Power Master last time at a contest.
Yeah.
That's a bit much, man. Because you know they're buying 300 gallons and getting
Yeah.
for $10 or $12 a gallon. I
Yeah,
get it.
buying a pallet of it.
I understand they're bringing it to a contest and they're doing it to make money, but charging double what they're getting it for, I think, is a little highway robbery.
Well, you know what I said is that
Greedy. They're
when
greedy.
I was gonna go like to the Nats or whatever, go buy Sig and get a damn drum of fuel, and then have the people bring their own jugs and just pump in a gallon and charge them that way.
Yeah.
When it used to be that we used to get it from Sig in a drum, and you know, fuel back in the day at that time was around $10 a gallon, and drum price was like $5. But we had to bring, you know, we'd all save our jugs, and then we'd all go in on a drum of fuel and then fill our jugs up, you know, get 5 gallons, 10 gallons, whatever. Sometimes we got, you know, 2 drums in a year. And
Let me ask y'all a question. I've got a fuel capacity problem with my best plane, and if I were to buy 5% nitro instead of 10% nitro, the lower nitro would get the better fuel mileage, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
What are you running?
My Twister FP40 needs to have more than 4.5 ounces to safely do the pattern in cold weather, and so let's say 50-degree weather. And so, you know, if it's not pretty warm, then I'm going to have a problem running out of gas in the clover.
I tell you what, that's a lot of damn. How big a Venturi you got on that thing? I've never seen a 40.
I think it's the same one that's on every other plane I've got. I believe it's the one from an FP20.
Well, that's the smaller one. Yeah, because they had a big version, but yeah, it sounds like you've got the smaller version.
356, 357, somewhere around there.
No. 255 or 280.
I'll have to measure it and see.
280 is the big one. 255 is the small one.
Oh, okay. I'm mistaken then. I'll go out to the shop and measure them.
What needles do you have in it?
Let's see. This one has got a OS needle in it.
Okay.
I bet if you put a Super Tiger needle in it, you would.
Oh no, I take back that. Take that back. This 40's got a Super Tiger in it.
Man, I've never seen a 40 that use that much fuel. Usually, FP40 uses about 3 1/4 ounces.
Yeah, I know my buddy. I mean, he does a full pattern, and I've never seen him use anything over 4 ounces.
I fill my tank up lipping full, and that
you getting any blow by out of the front bearing?
Might be because it's got wet gas blowing over the engine. I was having trouble with it running out early before anyway, and that might be part of the problem.
Yeah, because I've never seen an FP40 LA40 use more than 3 1/4.
That's right.
That's a lot of fuel.
Yeah, that's a lot of fuel. Like a Brodak 40, they'll use about 4 ounces, and they're always the gas guzzler.
Yeah.
But yeah, you must have.
I thought it was leaking at the base of the Venturi, sucking it out of there somehow. But then I sealed it up, and it was still getting all wet with clear fuel behind it. And so I'm thinking it's coming out. It's got a nosebleed.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Have to get you another case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the FP40 stuff, will that fit right into LA40?
Yeah, same footprint.
Or if you had yourself a lathe, cut yourself another bushing.
Yeah.
That's a big job. 50/40 is easy to come by, at least. It's no shortage of them on eBay. Yeah. It's not sucking out of the Airstream.
Get in there and just find a case for a good price.
Yeah.
Just change everything out.
I think before Huntersville, I might buy me some 5% nitro fuel just to stretch it out. Sometimes it'll do it and sometimes it won't. And I like to run muffler pressure too, but with no, with a lipping full tank, you got a problem with pressure change over the length of the flight. So I have to run with an open vent, and I don't like doing that because it goes so rich in the into the headwind, and I don't like it doing that, especially if it's a really windy day.
Okay, what you do with that is you get you a piece of fuel tubing
and turn it backwards or bury it under the back of the engine or something like that.
Get a pellet, like from a pellet gun.
Yeah.
Poke it in there and drill just a little teeny hole in that pellet.
Yeah, that's true.
That'll cut down on that headwind thing.
I bet it will.
And
Yeah.
what you need to do is downsize the orifice.
Right. Yeah.
The inner diameter of that.
Okay, that's a great idea. Yeah. Because it makes no difference except for just get the needle set to accept whatever hole it's got in the inlet.
So it's something like what, 1/8 inch OD diameter tubing with something like a 9/64 or something like that.
I think it's less than an 1/8 inch outside diameter. It's the same stuff you see coming out of all the Brodak tanks you buy.
Yeah.
That's probably an 1/8 inch outside.
Yeah, because Dick shoots so many all these pellets and stuff. We just get a pellet from him, drill a damn little hole in it.
I got plenty of pellets, yeah, because I got a 177 and a 22 pellet gun.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can just drill a hole in that and put it in there and try that once, and that's what we've been doing on some of them that are real susceptible to that.
Well, my Benjamin Punk 22 caliber pellet gun with the rifle barrel, that's a badass gun. It'll go clean through a squirrel and keep on going.
My brother-in-law's got a 177 pellet gun that breaks a sound barrier.
Holy shit. That's not even possible, is it?
Yeah. And I'm not kidding you. This thing has kick to it.
Well, it's like Dick. He's got a 30 cal that has that tank that holds, I don't know how much damn pressure. One of the pressurized tanks on that thing.
Yep.
That damn thing sounds like a real rifle going off when you shoot it because it breaks the sound barrier on that 30 cal.
Well, my 22 pellet gun is real loud.
Yeah, it's pushing them up there real fast.
I bought a trap, and we've been shooting 22 handguns in my garage. The guys in the neighborhood. 22 shorts, I should say, out of a 22 revolver. And we started doing pellet gun tournaments in here with air rifles and stuff. And I was like, well, shit, I got some nice 22 revolvers. Let's try some. We're using subsonic, no gunpowder, 22. Just a primer. That's all it is. And it shoots about 750 feet per second. And it's actually quieter than the break action pellet gun.
Damn.
We don't even have ear protection with it.
How far away is it accurate?
We're shooting like 18 feet. And, I mean, driving bullseye.
Shit, my dad used to hunt with a 22 short. As long as you got them that go under the speed of sound, and I mean that's why if you're around the neighborhood where we grew up and stuff, no one even knew you were shooting.
This is no gunpowder though. It's just a primer.
Yeah,
it's
just
a
primer.
It's just a primer.
It's just primer, no gunpowder. And like I said, I using my I got a Smith & Wesson model 617. It's a 10-shot 22 revolver. We're shooting them through that. We don't even have to wear ear protection because the pellet is louder than these 22s on just a primer. It's great.
That's pretty fucking wild.
If my wife, I'd go in there and I grab the gun out of the safe and shoot it for you guys. But I'd have to wake her up to get it.
She probably doesn't approve of that, does she? Or does she?
Hey, I think my daughter's home from prom. Boy, when I went to prom, I was 18 and you could drink then. It was a hell of a prom after the prom.
Well, I was 18 on prom and we couldn't drink, but we drank other stuff. But we didn't come home. We stayed in the Renaissance Center in downtown Detroit and came home the next morning after breakfast.
AJ, come in.
That's the smart way to do it.
He's so tired. I'm so tired.
Say hi to everybody. Let's see you in your prom dress.
Oh, let's see the prom dress, Sandy.
So what? I mean, get back. You got to get back for this thing.
Hi.
Hey, Samantha.
Birdie.
Senior prom.
My feet hurt so bad.
Their feet hurt bad?
I feel like they're bleeding.
Hey, she's 4 inches taller, though, than she was this morning when she woke up.
That.
Oh,
Beautiful shoes will hurt your feet.
Her feet hurt so bad. Well, she got heels that are that damn tall.
It's her
boyfriend's still like 5 inches taller than her.
It's her last prom.
Yeah. Well, that's what's so funny is that she got the big old heels on and her boyfriend's still 5 inches taller than her.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff's coming to an end. I mean, shit.
I know. It sucks.
She'll be graduating in 2 months.
They'll grow too fast, don't they? It all happens so quickly.
Hey, that cat's trying to get in. You got a cat burglar, dude.
I know. That's why there's plexiglass.
Huh?
That's why there's plexiglass scratching post on my door.
Yeah.
Copper.
I want to make the most on my $55 ticket. Alana didn't even dance at all.
Why
She
not?
sat down the whole time because she's stupid. And that food, I'm so glad we went to Outback because that food was gross. Even the potatoes were gross.
So what kind of music did y'all have at the prom, Samantha?
For one, they were trying to play country, and I'm like, we can't even dance to this music. And then they played like pop music. I danced to all of it because I wanted $55 worth out of my ticket. And the bad thing is I got shoes because my dress is so tall. And
So long.
I'm so tired. But I was trying on all these dresses for prom, and they were all so long on me. And then I found this one. I'm like, wow, it fits so perfect. And I look at the model like online, and the dress was up to her kneecaps. It's a short dress. And it's literally cleaning on the floor for me. So when I take my shoes off, I'm tripping. Everyone's tripping on my dress. Like, but no one had the same dress as me, so that's good.
Yeah.
No.
That's good. We can't have that. Can't have everybody in the same dress.
Alana and I got pictures of what AJ and I.
Yeah.
It was so weird. Like AJ and I getting a picture, like she was like, do this, and I was like, I'm like like a creeper.
Creeper.
No, because he was like leaning up against the wall, and I'm like, this one's like like.
Oh, that's cool. All right. Why don't you go to bed because you ain't gonna want to get up till like 11 o'clock tomorrow if you don't get in bed here pretty quick. She does.
Oh,
She's been bugging me because I've been on here. She's been up on my lap, licking me in the face. Everybody's laughing.
I wanted to take my donkey to prom.
Yeah, she was a big hit at the baseball game Thursday night. Samantha took her. And I guess she likes baseball, so when they hit the ball and stuff, she'd stand up on her hind feet and watch them run out there and stuff. And sit back down, and everybody was laughing and stuff because she was really, the damn dog was into the game, trying to figure out what was going on, I guess.
Dog night at the ballpark. That's a weird game every year.
I should take some pictures of our cats that come out and watch us fly. And they're pretty well trained. They don't jump on the planes or the line, so I don't mind them joining us.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The only time a cat jumps on my lines is when I'm trying to measure out a new set.
Oh, yeah, they love that. Yeah. Yeah. They think it's a game for them, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we took Indy to FCM when I think we only had her like 2 weeks. And she barked and she went crazy with Samantha around that airplane when it started and stuff. But after about a half a day, she was fine now. She just sits there and watches Samantha fly. It doesn't bother her at all. So we take her to the flying field all the time and have her on a tie out because that's Dick's buddy. Well, as weird as when we stayed at the Nats, Dick would stay in bed because Samantha had a judge, so she had to be there early. We'd walk out the door and we'd hear the damn dog run through the trailer, jump in bed with Dick and lay down to sleep with Dick.
Hey, speaking of the Nats, who's going to Brodax and who's going to the Nats?
We're gonna go to Brodak. We can't go to the Nats because we're leaving the day at. Well, the Nats starts on Sunday. We'll be leaving Monday morning for France. We thought about going, but I really don't want to drive 4.5 hours there, 4.5 hours back to be there one day and then do the trip to France. So
you got on an airplane, no. It wears me out flying on airplanes. I'm glad my flying days are over.
Well, we had to pick between Brodax and Triple Tree, Joe Nall, so we picked Brodax because we had so much fun there last year.
Yeah, that's probably a good choice.
Although I may drive in Saturday just to mess with you, Rusty.
Okay.
To Joe Nall.
I can tag it.
I got a neighbor that flies RC, and I think he's going to be there that week in his camper.
Oh, okay.
So I think I could just take the bullet train in, drive in Friday, compete on Saturday, turn around and head home.
yeah, well, one thing is too is that at Brodak for kids, that's the best place. I mean, they cater to kids there like crazy.
Oh, we had a ball there last year.
I know, Sam. I mean, yeah, he had a blast. I mean, that's like with Samantha. That's her favorite contest over the Nats. Anything we ever been to, she loves Brodak.
Well, Samuel had some big milestones there. I mean, he learned to fly inverted and do figure eights at Brodax last year during that week. I mean, we were just flying so much every day. It was.
The other thing is because Samantha, would learn stuff there too. I think is because they see everyone else doing it, and it just makes them want to try more or something, learn something more. When you're all by yourself, it's not the same thing.
Yeah. Contests always help improve your flying, and with the kids, they see others doing. Yeah.
Sorry, Gerald, didn't mean to. I'm going to go grab Samuel's Nats airplanes. We made quite a bit of progress.
Cool.
Let me go grab them.
How many kids fly down there with you, Gerald? I know your sons fly, but is there any other kids they can fly with?
It was quite. Last time we went up to Whangarei and flew at the contest there were 5 kids flying, and that was really good. They almost rivaled the number of adults flying, but that was really neat because they were all a similar age.
Right.
My sons are 9 and or 8 and 10 right now. One will be 9 soon, and their sons were a little bit older, and one was the same age. They're all the similar age, so there were 5 boys flying, and that really you could see it made them want to compete a little bit more with each other. And my wife didn't want to fly the racing class, Phantom Racing, and so one of the other sons flew instead. Peter flew, and he rose to the occasion. He had never flown a racer before, and you could just see he was quite proud that he had done this new thing and did it well, and he was quite happy. So, yeah.
That's what Samantha said when she was flying against Mike Paris, that was the most fun time we're flying. She had to fly with, one kid, but otherwise she always has to fly against adults. And most of the adults are all 50 and above.
Yeah. It's pretty much the same here most of the time until we go to a contest and there's a lot of other kids there. They're normally flying against each other, my two boys, or it's rare that our local flying site has other kids there, and that makes.
That's like, I think that Samantha will have a good time because Chris is going to be along there. That's more, you know, he's only, what, 12 years older than her, but, you know, they know music and stuff like that I have no idea what, you know.
Yeah,
I'm
more
too
her
old.
generation.
That stuff is way, you know, way younger than me, that kind of music and different things. And
there's different that have crossover.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready?
I like your ceiling fan. I like that ceiling fan. That's the first time I seen that.
Oh,
that is cool as hell.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that looks neat.
Ah, yeah, Corsair.
Oh,
A
yeah.
friend of mine,
Let's see.
that was a display model at Home Depot like 25 years ago.
Wow.
He talked them into letting him buy the display model. Because they sold them at one point. They used to sell, and they had a Mustang and a P-47.
No, man, and then they stopped.
Yeah. So
Our local baseball team had P-40s like that, and they were going to give one to me when they tore the place down, but then I never got the call. So
Eddie, that was Steve Maddox's. That was up at Steve's place up in Millersville. He had that hanging in his garage.
Really?
He moved into a new house, and he didn't have room for it, so he gave it to me. I think the first Easter that we had Sam, and I put it up on his wall. I had it on his wall because he already had a ceiling fan in his room. So I just hung it on the wall in Samuel's bedroom when he was like 2 years old. And he had it in his room there till we built this place. And then, of course, we moved here, and his bedroom had a fan in it already. So we decided to put it out in the shop. But, yeah.
Is Steve still flying the Corsair and the P-51?
No, he hasn't been flying much of the scale stuff the last couple of years, and he's barely flying stunt anymore. I mean, I'll tell you, go up there and fly, you know, and Walt and Ron are there, and Steve is there. Walt doesn't hardly fly. Steve doesn't hardly fly. Ron will fly a little bit, but most of the time it's me and Sam just flying all day long. When we go up there, Sam will put in 20 flights in a day.
Okay.
Y'all do it on Saturdays or Sundays?
We're going on Sundays typically. You know, Walt still mows the field and he takes care of it. Super nice field, and he keeps the grass nice and short. It's a great place to fly. But
are they just not able to do it, or don't, or what?
I don't know. I'm not sure, man. I enjoy watching them fly. They put up a couple of tokens every once in a while, but Steve hasn't had any scale planes out there for years. It's been a while. This guy that we're talking about, Steve, he takes the Hangar 9 Warbirds, the 60 size Hangar 9 RC airplanes, and he converts them over to 3-line with a throttle and flies them as control line scale. So he's got the Corsair, the 40, the Thunderbolt, and the Mustang. And we used to do 2-up flying all the time with these scale birds with the throttles. It was really a hoot, man. They're beautiful airplanes, you know, if you're familiar with the Hangar. But he hasn't done anything in a couple of years, Eddie, and I'm not sure why. But anyhow,
show me that airplane there, Mike, while you're talking.
I'm going. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's looking good.
That is number 1. And there is number 2. We built a pair.
Is that the rugged streak? Is that what it's called?
No, dude, don't even insult Larry that way, man.
Stunt bot.
It's the Stunt bot.
That's the wings, ain't it?
It's got Bender on there.
Yeah. The Stunt bot. Designed by Larry Davis. There's a shot.
It's got a big old stab.
Larry. Well, he said I didn't even need to put a rudder on it. So it's a radial mount for a Dave Brown glass mount OSLA 46 are going on them. I got the Hobby King carbon fiber gear.
Nice.
Yeah, they're pretty much done. I mean, they're ready for paint. Push rod's already been made. All the holes have been drilled. Engine. I mean, it's just a matter of doping them and mounting all the hardware. They're good to go.
Yeah, he'll like them.
Does that wing go all the way through the fuselage, or is it just got
No,
bars?
no, it's like a combat. Well, they're not even spars. They're 1/8-inch fiberglass tight rods. If you go on the build thread that we had going, you'll be able to see the.
How's it going?
You can probably kind of see. There's one here.
I can see that. Yeah.
Okay, so there's one on top, one on the bottom that go halfway.
Yeah.
And then the ones on the top and bottom in the front go all the way to the tip.
That's going on Monday. This one on Monday. Don't fight. No.
Very easy assembly.
All right.
Sure.
Alrighty. Oh, my foot chapstick. I want to look at all.
I think it's close to.
We got heat now, though. I got the furnace back going.
Hold on a second.
So now.
Here's my building instructions.
You want to turn up the heat?
The Stunt bot.
Oh yeah, great instructions set there.
These are the assembly instructions that Larry sent to me.
Good night.
Hey guys, I gotta get off. I'm gonna talk to Samantha before she goes to bed.
Okay, Steve.
I'll see you later, Steve. Good to see you.
Bye.
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 And I think it's around 575 squares is what it is, Rusty.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big wing. He baked the wing and the tail moments off of the Tiyasaki. Because that's Clayton Smith was a friend of Larry's, and Larry's got a Tiyasaki, and he wanted to build something that flew as well as a Tiyasaki, but was way easier to build, and using some combat wing techniques for spars and just ease of building using a foam wing.
Yeah, and then the engine mount is just one of those gray radial mount. Is it Dave Brown mounts?
It's a Dave Brown mount.
Yeah.
The 3035. Yep. That'll go on there like that. It'll still be a Sidewinder.
Yeah. What sort of tank are you going to use, Mark?
What kind of tank?
Yep.
What do I got here? I got two. I think they're 4.5 ounce RSM Uniflow tanks from Eric Rule. I think they're 4.5.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, the FTV pattern then.
And I've got two brand new unrun Tom Dixon LA 46s to put on there.
Well, they really sound the business. It will really give them the best possible chance of getting the maneuvers good.
Well, I mean, these are his planes for the Nets. He's done most of the building on these, as much as he can. And we're trying to be BOM compliant because, with the Nats, you're supposed to be the builder, the model. And I want Sam to follow the rules and do as much of that as he can. So he's put in quite a bit of work on these.
Yeah, I've been watching the build thread. Yeah, it's been really good watching him go through building it, putting them together.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy's good inspiration for my two sons. I can say, look, come and see what Samuel's doing, and they're always interested to see what another guy of a similar age is doing to them.
Well, these are going to be, hopefully, these are the planes that he gets to fly the full pattern with. Now we got all those old slow combat models up there, which are they're big. They're 500 square inch wings on suction tanks. And we're just going to pound those in all summer, teaching him the maneuvers, how to do the clover leafs and the overheads and the square eights and all that before we transition onto these. Because we got like 10 of those up there that we can wreck. And we're going to start early. We're going to hit the ground early this year as soon as we get good flying weather and just go out and try to learn, 2 maneuvers every time we go flying.
he'll take right to it.
And then once he can do it on these combat wings, then we'll move to the stunt planes because it should be easier for him to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot. Yeah. In theory, a stunt model should be a lot slower and easier for them to tackle.
He'll be better than we are before long.
Mm. Yeah. The one that my son Otto, I showed them the other week, the one that he likes flying is this big old thing, which is again, it's like a combat wing.
Perfect.
It's a wing, and it had a 35 on it, but I've put a 45 on it now. I'm going to try it hopefully tomorrow with the 45, the old Enya 45, because it just lacks some power in the overheads, and it should help him get a bit more of it. He used to enjoy flying it with the 35, but it just needed a little bit more oomph. And it's a similar size, about 550 inch, and the old Enya 35 just didn't have the power for the big airfoil. Still in feel on me as I hold it, but yeah, my sons have got to that point now where they don't want to fly a little 15 size model, except Max. He still prefers the smaller model.
Yeah, it's harder to fly smaller models. It's harder to learn on smaller ones.
Oh yeah, it sure is. They're so twitchy and fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I did get. I don't know if I showed you guys these the last time I was on. It's been a while. I got 5 of the Roman Yavenko combat planes. These are the speed limit planes. I don't know how well you can see that, but
yeah, we got a good picture.
Those came out of the Ukraine. Chad and I split an order of 10 because that's how you got to order them. You got to get 10, 20, or 30 because that's what the shipping crates are for.
Mm-hmm.
We split a case of 10. I think they were $34 a model.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I think it's $350 for a case and then $100 shipping. So it's like $450. It's a little dicey, though, because you got to send money via Western Union to Russia. It's like, it could go poof. And it's on.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's kind of a crap, but I mean, Roman's got a good reputation in the combat community. So but there were some cases, back in the 90s and early 2000s where people's airplanes just didn't show up and money disappeared, and not from Roman, but from some other Russian importers. And of course, there's always the chance that they get damaged in transit. Guys will get a box of airplanes, the whole corner is crushed,
Mm-hmm.
or they open them up in customs and they don't reseal them good and they get damaged, But we lucked out. We got 10 beautiful models. So I'm excited to get those together. That's actually what I'm building these motors for, is for those. These 3 LA-25s and that other LA-25 there. I'm setting all those up for speed limit motors for this year.
It's a lot of fun. I know with our club ordering stuff from Russia, we did it in the as a club. We bought in line and belt cranks and hinges and lots of little hardware items. But when we lost whole motors, that was a bit painful. Your money goes nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But you sort of got half of what we ordered. That was the difficult thing.
Yeah, and that, that's the thing. It's dicey because it's not like using a credit card where Visa would, you get your buyer protection or anything like that. You're sending cash Western Union, man, and it could just disappear. And he's actually, Chad called him and asked him, because these were out of the Ukraine, and he wanted to know how far he was from the fighting, because that could have issues with shipping and stuff getting out of the country. And he said he was about 100 miles from the fighting. So, 200 kilometers or whatever. He was far enough away that they weren't really affected by all the shit that's going on over there. So we felt comfortable sending him $500,
Yeah. Well, what they put out in Ukraine and Russia and Slovakia is amazing. It's really quite amazing what they're able to produce. I suppose they've got a lot of Cold War era industry.
If that was made in the United States, those airplanes would cost $75, $80 a piece. They'd be double. They'd be double that.
Yeah.
They're really well built, and I mean, you can stuff them into the ground and they don't break. The only thing that breaks them midair, really, is running into another airplane. That's really the only thing that'll tear them up, because you can drive them straight into the dirt at 80 miles an hour, and as long as you're not, flying on hard packed clay, if you're on grass, it's not going to hurt anything.
You just change the prop and off you go.
Yeah, I'm ready for Huntersville, Rusty. I'm ready. I'm jonesing for some combat, man.
I'm so looking forward to it. I want to be around the people. I've been cooped up all winter long and about to go crazy with cabin fever. So yeah, I need it for my mental health. Get out there with my buddies and have some fun. And I hope I can fly. I'm planning on it. I'm going to do everything as if I'm ready to fly. And when I get there, I'll do what I can do.
We watched the video from Watt Field, I think it was, Rusty, and it looked like you're getting some nice weather there now.
It's been cold and windy and rainy, or a combination of it. But in February, we had a lot of 70 and 80 degree days. Past couple of weeks here since March have been too windy to fly, but the temperature has been nice and it's been mostly sunny. So I'm hoping the March winds will blow away and give us some nice warm weather relief. By May, it's always dependable. So last May now, it was clear, but me and Mike were up in Huntersville flying in 25-mile-an-hour winds. That was some flying, but we didn't scratch our names off the boards.
No, I'll fly.
Yeah, me too.
I've been wanting to ask you, Rusty, have you had a chance to read Brett Buck's thread on Stunthangar in the rules section about skill classes?
I have read bits and pieces of it, but now it gets pretty intense, the discussions in the rules. But yeah, I've read some of it. Why? What do you?
I just wondered. I mean, the gist of it that I got was that people were moving up into advanced too quickly, and there's a glut of advanced flyers and not enough intermediate.
Not enough intermediates, yeah. And here they are, they're pushing me to go to advanced. And so I wanted to talk to you about that before Huntersville too. And I was going to try to, I just want to fly in advanced, but my goal was to belong in advanced.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob Zambelli is telling me to go. And then you had your reasons not to. I was going to see if I could talk you into going in advance just so we could fly together.
I'm still on the fence, to be honest with you, especially what Brett wrote.
I mean, your score, yeah, but we're not in California.
Well, but his reasoning makes sense. Okay, if you're going to a small local contest and only flying the same 3 guys,
yeah.
That doesn't mean that you should move to advance, because when you go to a contest where there's 20 or 25 guys, you might be a middle of the pack or
that's right. You learned that at the Nats last year, didn't you?
And at Brodak.
Yeah.
So he did put down some preliminary scoring, like if you're a 450 intermediate flyer, if you're getting 450s or above all the time, you should probably move on. I'm not a 450 flyer. I'm a 400 flyer. I'm a 420 flyer.
Yeah.
I'm not banging out 490s or anything like that, man. I think a 450
scored up in the high 400 at Huntersville last year, didn't you? Last May.
I think I put up my highest flight ever was a 452 last May. That was one time.
I flew a 466 at Triple Tree, and that's when Bob told me to move up. But and I beat Ray Copeland that time too, who he's not too bad. I thought he was better than that. I thought he was a lot better than me, but I beat him by 6 points flying a 466. But if the Barrys, if Derek and Dale judged me, I'd probably be scoring a 390 or something like that, because they either bracket, or I don't know what they do, but they score me 60 or 70 points lower than any other judges ever have.
Well, the judges we had in October, I had one judge gave me a 480, and I had the other judge give me a 390.
And you're probably somewhere in between that, I guess.
Yeah. And that was for both flights. You know, I had one high scoring judge, but you know, it's the same for everybody. So that really doesn't matter. You know, I'm not bitching about the judges because as long as they do that for everyone,
if they're consistent, that's fine. Yeah. But you know, the only reason I'm really itching to fly advanced is because any one of these contests could be my very last, and I just want to be able to say I flew in advance, but that's not really anything to anybody but me. And if I don't belong there, then that doesn't make it mean anything either. So,
well, from what I read, what I gathered of Brett's thread and what other people were posting on there, I certainly don't belong there. According to Brett.
Well, you're consistently better than me too.
You know, and that's why I've kind of held back on moving up, because I want to fly a bigger field of competitors to see where I really am.
Yeah, like I was saying, you want to belong there.
And flying 3 guys or 4 guys, which is what it always is, because the skill class is so small.
Yeah.
Just because I'm winning there, that doesn't mean that I'm ready to move to advance. I don't think. I don't see it that way. I want to go up against 20 or 25 guys and finish in the top, not find out that I'm full of the pack flyer. You know?
Yeah, I gotta get out of here.
I think my goal would be just not come in last. What'd you say?
I gotta get out of here. Mike, give me a call sometime, or send me a text message or a message when y'all gonna be out flying. I'll try to get out there.
Okay, man.
I gotta get going too. We'll see you guys later. Good to see all of you.
Okay, see you. I'm glad you came back to see us, Wally.
You betcha.
Good to see you, Wally.
I'll see you guys later.
Good night.
And there were 3.
Well, when let's look at it when we get to Huntersville and decide which one to enter. If you enter intermediate, I guess I will too.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know what kind of. I probably will be able to fly pretty well. You know, if I can get my balance and all back, I should be good to go.
Yeah, I was thinking of maybe not even flying at Huntersville this year.
Really?
Stunt, yeah.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Yeah, I mean, I'll fly combat.
If you don't fly stunt, I'll see how many people are entering and then decide. If they've got 4 or 5 in intermediate, then I'll go ahead and enter advanced and try not to come in last. Because it'd be basically if we both entered advanced with a big field, it would be just you and me competing against each other with no damn chance of winning.
Yeah, the seat comes in.
Yeah.
19th and 20th.
I've never outscored you yet. One of these days I'd like to, but I have so much trouble, you know, flying these days that I don't know if that day will come, but I'm going to keep trying. That's all I can do.
That's the best thing to do. I think you know,
I basically compete against myself. If I can fly a better flight than I flew last time, then I'm happy.
Well, mate, got to try and enjoy it while you can, Rusty. And I know we've got a different system here, Mike, where we've got 2 classes: a sportsman class, which is like the entry class, where we put all the kids in and try and get them flying some aerobatics. They don't normally do the whole pattern; they just fly what they can. And then we've got the 2B class, and so you're either one or the other. You've got a whole lot of adults that have been flying for ages that just want to fly sportsman, and then those people that are very proficient that fly F2B, but there's nothing in between.
Nothing. Yeah.
And so I've gone back into flying into F2B after a break of flying competitively for so many years. I knew I'd be on the bottom. I'm still on the bottom, but the other thing I know is I'm not pushing out the younger people in the sportsman class saying, I want to win sportsman every time and not give them a chance. And they seem to appreciate that because we don't have enough flyers, to be honest. And you've just got to make it so it's sort of balanced. You've got an equal number of people flying and sportsmen and in the F2B.
Well, I think, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah. So even though I'm not flying as well as I was back in the 1980s when I was probably younger and flew more actively, still having fun doing it, and I'm slowly improving as I see my scores go up. Well, I know I'm doing better than I did last time. So if I can compete and do better than what I did previously, well, it's all worthwhile. But it's just the fun of competing as well. I don't mind coming last because I know I'm still having fun doing it.
Sure.
And the other blokes there seem to think, well, it's good just to have somebody else kicking at their heels, somebody else that's coming along, that's working their way up, because of the lack of numbers. At least it's better to be 5th out of 10 places than to be 1 out of 3 places. It just has more variety in the field when you've got more people competing. And so you don't want to dissuade people from competing. And I think that's been a problem in the past where that big gap, a lot of people get to the best they can in sportsmen and they don't want to make the transition to F2B and they tend to drift away.
Rusty, when you get a chance, read that whole thread and really try to soak it in.
I will. Yeah, I do remember the parts you were talking about, so I'll go back and read that.
And because I think Brett has a valid point, and that, you know, intermediate flyers are pushed up into advanced, I think, faster than they should be.
Yeah.
Up with it, he flat out says it. There's a bunch of guys in advanced that they'll probably be flying intermediate.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why advanced is so fat, you know, and intermediate so lean. Because I get out of it, you know, within 2 years or a year or whatever. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a coming. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, at least splitting it 3 ways. And you talked about having a very basic class to make a 4th class as well. I remember you talking about that in the past, Rusty. But yeah, when you cram it all into one class, it's like our classic. We don't have an old-time aerobatics, and like yeah, you've got a number of classes that break up the models where we just bung everything in one class for pre-1970, and that really mucks it up. Yeah. There's no point building an old model. I like the idea of building a vintage model with a vintage motor and trying to relive the past. But if everybody else is just building models from the late 60s, then you don't have a shit show. Really competing evenly. But you just do it for the hell of it, so it doesn't matter too much.
Well, that's the thing here with old time stunt too. You know, it's got to be a pre-whatever 50-something airplane, but they can put a modern engine on it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody's got a signature on Stunthangar. It says "Electric is the future of old time stunt."
Yeah. It will be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get off here. My battery's getting.
Yeah, I think we're setting a record for a lengthy show tonight. So let's all agree to reconvene on Monday, and we'll talk then.
Yeah.
Mike, glad you came back to visit. So
yeah, I got 6 days to myself here starting tomorrow, man. The wife is taking the kids to Greensboro to visit her mother. They leave tomorrow morning, and they won't be back till next Saturday. I got
Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yeah, that's where my mother-in-law lives.
Yeah.
And out of this trip, I get to stay home this week. So
I'll be a bachelor. That's pretty cool.
I got 7 days to.
I'll
probably spend 2 days doing stuff, honeydew.
Shoot guns in the garage and all kind of shit.
I'll be working on planes, man. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, man. Tell Sam we said hi.
I will, man. I'll see you.
All right. Yeah.
Next month.
Good talking to you both.
Fair winds, tight lines, and we'll see y'all later. Good night.
Good night. Bye.